It's bear hunting season, and Dan Campbell is hungry for some kneecaps.
If you can just get a hold of them and you start dragging their ass out to the deep, dark abyss, you can drown them.
The Kings of the North are back for another year of the brand new Lions. Make sure you're locked in to Detroit's #1 sports network for all the news and info on your Detroit Lions.
Woodward Sports, let's go.
Welcome in. You know what time it is. It is the Braylon Edwards Show on Woodward Sports 2.0. Glad to have you in on this Friday. And yes, I know I say it every day, but when it is, you got to say it on this beautiful Friday. Excited to have you on here. It's going to be a good show. Some big news just happened about an hour or two ago. So obviously, we'll talk about that as it relates to the basketball world. But before we get there, Anson Wells, talk to me. How you doing, man?
I'm excellent. Little 2 Chainz after party tonight. We're throwing downtown at what do you call that? The Lincoln Art Project. So it'll be a hip hop evening.
2 Chainz is one of those artists that I love. I've loved since Duffel Bag Boy came out, and the reason why I think over the years that I really rock with his music, love his catalog, is 1, he never disappoints. 2, it's the cadence. I love the cadence in which he raps with. And 3, when you get on certain artists' when you get on certain artists' projects, and there's all the time, it's letting you know how the other people in that industry rock with you, man. And he will be West Coast guys rock with him, the NYC rocks with him, down south rocks with him heavy. Obviously, he's Atlanta born. Everybody shows him that level of respect, whether it's the high-ups or the middle ground or the underground artists. He gets that love from everybody. That says a lot. So shout out to 2 Chainz. He's one of them ones, as they say.
Titty Boy.
Old school.
Yeah, I was going to say shout out Titty Boy.
I love the fact that he legitimately was Lil Wayne's plug when he used to be in the studios in Atlanta and never ever even mentioned that he was an artist. And eventually, after 2 years of being his plug, said something along the lines, Lil Wayne went in the studio that day. They recorded Duffel Bag Boy, and the rest is history. Once again, going back to that.
Most Expensivest on Vice?
Most Expensivest? No.
Yeah, he goes around the world just doing the most expensive stuff out there.
Did they do an episode where he was at a hotel suite in Vegas, like a room in Vegas?
Bro, he does the most luxurious, elite stuff possible in the world, and does it Titty Boy style.
Speaking of not elite, as I say, what's going on too? Sweet Potato Cam as well as B-Lad, not them individuals. Talking about a smell.
I'm catching strays over there in production.
No. It's not about them as a person. It's about a smell that's not elite. Are there smells that just drive you absolutely crazy? Like, what's a smell that you smell and instantly? For me, tuna fish is one of those smells. When I say tuna, like that smell, like I remember being a kid and my mom having tuna fish in the refrigerator. Sorry, Mom, I love you, but I hate the tuna fish. Like, as soon as I would open that fridge, just whoosh. I remember getting that air hitting me. Maybe like 2-3 years old. I said, it's the nastiest smell I've ever smelled. Because of that, I did not eat fish. I thought it was all the same. I didn't eat fish until I probably was 3rd, 4th year in the league. I mean, I ate shrimp and all that kind of stuff, but that smell, like B-Lad had some, and kudos to B-Lad. B-Lad went outside.
Very considerate.
He ate his tuna outside.
Yep.
Did you tell him to?
No, I did not. He just did it on his own. But what happened was when I was walking out of the bathroom, he was walking in the bathroom.
Smell the room.
The smell just hit. And it made me think. Any for you?
Death. The smell of death.
Okay, that was a morbid answer.
Well, honestly, I had to think about it. And, there's nothing that sticks out that bothers me. But, dude, when you got, that mouse dead in your house, you can't figure out where it's coming from. And the smell is so
coming from the afterlife.
That is where it's coming from.
Definitely coming from the afterlife. Okay, maybe not so morbid. What about you, Sweet Potato Cam?
I feel like cleaning out the fridge, you're making room for some extra stuff, some new groceries perhaps. You're like, oh, what's in here? Boom, the moldiest leftover whatever. Just...
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Yeah, mold is a nasty smell.
I got one.
You hit you?
I got one.
Is it death?
No.
Okay.
It's actually a precursor to life. When you leave a seed in your doobie and you smoke the seed, it not only tastes terrible, Riley, but it stinks.
That's like one of those smells that half the people in chat will never even get the opportunity to smell.
They still think skunks smell bad. Little do they know they're wonderful.
B-Lad, clearly you don't think tuna fish smells bad. So what about you? What are some smells or a smell that does it for you?
Oh, yeah, I got a couple, but the main one that gets me the most is the smell of propane. gets in my sinuses.
What, Bobby? Did you say
like,
propane? Shout out to Hank Hill, King of the Hill.
It gives me such a bad headache. I just hate it. That's like, I can do gasoline, but propane draws the line.
Okay. I don't know if
I have an allergy to that, B-Lab.
You have an allergy to propane?
Well, I said B-Lab may have an allergy. I don't know.
As far as I know, I'm not allergic to anything. But then again, I probably could be allergic to
cat
propane. I have no
piss.
idea.
Yeah, any
High ammonia cat piss.
You can just take the cat off of it.
So, but no, I'm going to take it to another level.
Yeah.
When you have a male that you haven't spayed or neutered, whatever it is for cats, if you get spayed, they will spot. They'll lift their tail up and they'll like blow this like wet fart on walls and furniture, and it just smells like the most acrid ammonia stench piss of all time. It's like Martian piss.
You know what? I blame myself for opening.
You brought this one, dude.
So I apologize for.
This wasn't even in the plans, B.
Apologize. You know what? That's all on me. That is all on me.
B-Lad Delton.
Let's try to get this taste out of your mouths, if you will. Earlier today, LeBron James, who Adam Silver's been trying to get to pick a team so we can get this schedule out. Well, the wait is finally here. LeBron James, Philadelphia 76ers.
The peasants got their king, Bray.
So LeBron's now in Philly. He took a deal, if you will, only getting $8 million over the next 2 years, very similar to the Patrick Kane deal.
That's for a year.
That we saw yesterday. When you see this, does this now, I think the first question is, does this now put the Philadelphia 76ers into the driver's seat entering the 2026 season for you?
Well, so you threw the caveat in there for me. I know Polymarket, I know Kalshi, and I know probably the legitimate betting sites, they will have them as the odds-on favorite.
Well, I'm glad you said that. I'll give you the bet. I'll give you the odds now. Right now, San Antonio plus 270, OKC plus 900, New York Knicks plus 900, the Philadelphia 76ers plus 900. The Pistons are indeed on this list at number 9 at plus 2,500.
Ouch.
So everybody thought that the Lakers were going to be it because they got Luka. Those three did not coexist well. You saw good stats. You didn't see wins. You saw frustration. I got to be honest, man. LeBron, I don't think there was a lot of places he could go. I don't think that Trajan wanted him. I think many other teams didn't want him. I know that he reached out to bring Kyrie to Cleveland. We just got a report, and the Mavs said that they were not trading him. This is a fantastic landing spot for him. It's better than Miami. I don't think that it's better than Golden State because of the personalities. Jaylen Brown, big personality. Love him. LeBron, asshole. And then you got Embiid. Who is this guy? Does he get along? I mean, this guy was literally just trashing Jaylen Brown a few months ago on his own podcast, and then Jaylen Brown returned it on his. The chemistry of Philly will make or break them, Braylon. That's it.
Bilal, asking you, what do you think? Does this now put Philly? You know, I get Anson, you're absolutely right about places and who didn't want him. That's not what I'm out for. Does this move them to number 1 in the East? Do you believe that they jump over the New York Knicks? Are they number 1? They have LeBron, they have Edgecombe, they have Tyrese Maxey, they have Joel Embiid, and now they have Jaylen Brown, who came from the Boston Celtics. Yep. Does this move the needle for you? Are they now number 1 in the East?
Yeah, so I mean, obviously on paper this looks phenomenal. Like this roster on paper, at least the starting 5 looks elite, and it looks like it should be at the top of the list. But how many times have we seen a big player, and you know, with the caliber of LeBron and him missing games like this, how often do we think we're going to see this full starting 5 lineup play with each other all season long? You got to factor that in. We saw it with Brooklyn when they had Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, and James Harden. They barely played with each other. On paper, they were elite, and they should have won the finals. But you know, they didn't really play with each other. They didn't get along. The chemistry wasn't there. Obviously, having LeBron, this, you know, his career's coming to an end. This does move the needle a little bit where it's like, all right, yeah, I'm paying attention to him. They have guys all around. They really have no weaknesses in their starting 5. But then again, you got to factor in a lot of the stuff that kind of happened with LeBron over his years in LA and a lot of the injury stuff and, you know, Jaylen Brown on social media. Yeah, you know, maybe that plays a factor, maybe not. But at the same time, you just got to always count in the fact that the NBA is the NBA. It's a long season. Who knows if this started? And even Joel Embiid missing it with injuries all the time. You never know how often these 5 will always be playing with each other. That's the only reason why I'm not like extremely like wowed by it. Yeah, they're a great team on paper and a great starting 5, and it does move the needle to maybe, you know, the 1 and 2 spot. But then again, the East is still open in my eyes.
All right, all I heard from both of you guys is a lot of
The
excuses.
Celtics are my number 1 seed.
Okay, that's fair. A lot of excuses.
This puts them
why-
over the Pistons for me, though.
A lot of excuses why LeBron this, LeBron that, and they won't do this because of Joel Embiid and injuries and yada, yada, yada. Put up my top 8 in the East right now, if you will, Sweet Potato Cam. This is
I'm
where
so glad Kool-Aid's not in here to see this.
Oh, well, Kool-Aid's in the building. He'll be here. He said
He'll
he
be
was gonna
joining
be
us
here.
shortly.
This is, first of all, you found a picture. Like, I look like a coach on the hot seat. Like, I look like the reporter asked me a question. I was like,
You're like, for real?
About 21 there?
Really?
I don't know why I'm still playing certain individuals.
Freshly legal?
This is
Freshly legal Bray.
I will say
Barely legal Bray.
This is actually at Big Ten. I want to say Big Ten Media Day when I was working.
On your way to the Rose Bowl, maybe?
No. When I was working for the Big Ten Network.
Hey, I will say, Braylon,
About to interview with Urban Meyer, actually.
I believe that this is the Philadelphia 76ers GM first year. This is his first offseason with the team, and he goes off and pulls off this roster. I'm just going to say it there. He took a risk. He understands his assignment. He knows that this isn't his money to spend. He's going to put the best team available on the court. And, yeah, I just had to get that out of the way. I'm sorry.
Fantastic poll, B-Lad.
Fantastic job by him.
Michael
1000%.
Weary, sorry.
No, go ahead.
$5 super chat. LeBron to Philly is a joke. It will never work out. I'm just saying.
I feel you. Realistically, the way I look at it is it did not do enough for me to supplant the reigning defending champ. You look at the New York Knicks and what they still have. They have those core guys, that starting 5 that was able to do what they did last year, including Jalen Brunson. I like where they're at as a squad and a team. I think they stay at the number 1 spot. I think they do move into the number 2 position. Talking about Philly. Philly was a team that last year they had an opportunity to fight and defend. You look at what Joel Embiid is, you look at what Tyrese Maxey is, and VJ Edgecombe starting to take that jump last year. These are the 3 stars that we're talking about. Now you add LeBron. When LeBron said he's taking a pay cut, LeBron isn't coming here to mess up your rotation. LeBron isn't coming here to be the starter. LeBron isn't coming here to get all the press, which he's going to get anyway because of what his name is. LeBron is coming here trying to win a championship. The IQ that he has and helping this team be together in the moments and the things that he's seen and what they need, I think it will play well for what they do. Also, too, I like the Jaylen Brown situation. I understand where Jaylen Brown's coming here. Look at Anthony Simons on the bench. You drafted Filine. There's a lot there to like with the Philadelphia 76ers at 2.
Yeah. No, I mean, on paper, it's fantastic. I mean, on paper, they should be number 1. I have a lot of concerns about it. I am curious. Does Bronny end up there? I think that he does at this point.
But that doesn't even
matter.
matter,
That doesn't
though.
make any difference, obviously.
Right.
But there's a lot of moving parts in Philly still.
It
We don't
is.
know how this is going to settle. I'm curious because I do think that this will be a fantastic team. I think that them and Boston will be going back and forth for that number 1 seed. Ultimately, games missed and chemistry might be a problem early on and throughout the season. But this is a team that probably ends up in the finals because the NBA wants to see that and they have the skill to do it.
So I appreciate that about you, but every time we can come up here, I don't want it to be a conspiracy conversation. Like, oh, well, the NBA wants them to get in. I think that they have the opportunity to get in there for what they have on their squad.
There's nothing more marketable about the LeBron coming out of the East, though.
I get you. I understand that. But in order to be in that space, you still got to be a good team. You can't be an ass team.
But we know
and
that
they
they're a
place
great
you in
team
there.
just from the team photo.
And that's why I think they're in the number 2 spot. Yeah, I look at what they can be.
But I like that
you
you
talk
didn't put
about
them at 1. I
Talk
don't
about
like your 1,
chemistry.
though.
Like LeBron James, Chris Bosh, Dwayne Wade, they're all in Miami, 2011. Not 1, not 2, not 3. We know that the jokes. It took that team a while to gel, but that's why you have 82 games. That's why you have playoff first round and second round. So I think they'll have enough time to get that gel. And you talk about guys missing. They got enough guys on that team. When guys out, hey, look, you're out tonight, fine. You do your thing. We'll sub in. We'll play for you. So I like them too. And I still like the Cavs, Orlando. I got Detroit at 5. Boston moved on from Jaylen Brown rather in the middle of the night, almost talking about those equity groups. Their equity group got tired of what he was saying on his post, and then they moved on from him. Just because you still have a lot in place, sometimes you move on from things like that. You can't get it back right away. So interested to see what that is.
I get into that Jaylen Brown discussion. We'll be here for a while. But no, listen, I like what Boston has. I think they're better defensively. Who their big man in the middle is, because there's no Kristaps, there's no Vuk. They've got to find that big man to capitalize in the East this year.
Now, what say you about the move? Just from an overall totality move, what does this sound like when you hear Sweet Potato Camp? LeBron James to Philly.
It's kind of scary to be real with
Yep.
you. I mean, I know going back to injuries and everything, but barring Embiid's attrition, like that's a serious starting lineup. And I feel like they could easily, I shouldn't say easily, but I really feel like they could, frog leap over New York Knicks. I've heard Anson say, a number of times, New York Knicks, best starting 5 in the league.
Not anymore.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, 1,000%. When you look at a move like this, you look at the situation. Does it make you think about Trajan Langdon and the Detroit Pistons and where they are, as opposed to where the season ended? Some of the things you knew, what they needed, where they were, how they could get better. Now you look at the moves they made. When you see that potentially there was an opportunity to get Jaylen Brown. Potentially, if you get a Jaylen Brown, there's an opportunity to get a LeBron James. Are you disappointed in the aggressiveness?
I'm not disappointed. I do. I like the moves.
Yeah.
They've committed to their youth. They haven't sold out for now, but Philly was already a problem without LeBron.
Yeah,
and then when you add in LeBron, there's no more question marks outside of the Bronny situation and a couple of other ancillary later moves. We got a huge question mark over Jalen Duren, our man in the middle, our big man of the future. But we also don't have that second option that we've all been begging for. Something has to happen. I'd prefer something happen before Duren happens, because maybe that helps you bring him in when he sees what this new roster looks like. But yes, I can't imagine there's one Piston fan that feels the same that they felt yesterday. We're all feeling less secure.
Braylon, you brought up a good point earlier, though. Who's coming off the bench for the Sixers?
Anthony Simons, who they just picked up from Portland this offseason. So they have Anthony Simons. They drafted Phylon, who's a guy that Justin and Anson had talked about, potentially the Detroit Pistons going after. So they got some young guys. They got some young talent, some talent that you can develop, if you will, for the the Sixers' future. So looking at those two guys, some other guys that played a little bit last season, I think they got enough guys on that bench. And I'm telling you, having LeBron, regardless of what you feel about him, I think it's just going to add that je ne sais quoi to that squad, man.
Dean Wade
coming out of Cleveland,
great sleeper
shooter
addition for them. Yeah. They don't have incredible depth. They're probably deeper than the Knicks, though, and they got a better starting 5. So, to me, if the chemistry works, this is the number 1 seed. That's still a big if for me.
Still a big if for you. All right. Moves. Because you brought up Jalen Duren. I don't want to jump into that right now, but Jalen Duren, there's a lot to talk about there. It's
and microscope on it today after this.
It's almost one of those situations where, like, you look at 3 players in Detroit. It's Dylan Larkin, there's Jalen Duren, and there's Tarek Skubal. Which one right now frustrates you the most?
Man, it's like deja vu, whatever team you look at right now.
I swear. It actually is. Like, the thing is about, and the one thing that I can understand to a certain extent.
The situations, if you will.
They're all different.
Yeah.
So now, we're talking about Tarek Skubal. Maybe this is the last time he's going to pitch for the Tigers, and, all this stuff's going on. But for me, Tarek Skubal kind of gets me the most frustrated just because of him speaking to the media and what he's saying to the media. Number one, he wants to be a Tiger for life. That's what he said. Although his agent, you're not going to be a Tiger for life if that's your agent, number one. Number two, you request them to go out and buy, yet you still haven't signed the dotted line yet. And I feel like if you were to have signed the dotted line, they have more of a reason to buy. And then the whole arbitration case comes out where you're like, oh, well, maybe I should have gotten an MRI in January. Maybe I should have gotten this fixed before spring training, all this kind of stuff. But I was scared because the team took me to court and they were going to not take the judge wasn't going to take my side. And then he gets injured in the middle of the year and misses 6 to 8 starts. It's somewhere in that range. And we suffered a lot through it. So that's the reason why I think Tarek Skubal is kind of the more frustrating one out of all of this. Although we all kind of know that he's going to be traded, that's like at least he's kind of the most certain player right now. Like, we're really uncertain of how much Jalen Duren's going to get, and the Red Wings are just a complete dumpster fire right now. So we really don't know what's going on there. But we're kind of for certain that Tarek Skubal, there's really only 2 options, and right now it's leaning towards him actually getting traded. But I just don't need all the pushback and, you're kind of retracted or like going back on your words that you said previously. And honestly, I think speaking to the media about this kind of stuff isn't very intelligent.
100%. There's some things that frustrate me about the Terry Scuba situation as well, but I don't know if it's enough to put him number one on this list. For me, I think, Anson, you and I might agree on who's number one on this list. Some news came out today, and I think that's what we could jump into right now. Who's number one for you?
It's easily Jalen DUREN. This is not the best pitcher in the MLB. This is not a guy who's asked out after failing for a lot of years. This is a young guy.
You're talking about Dylan Larkin, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, I am. This is a guy that you invested in at 17 years old, developed into an all-pro big man. He's tested the market himself, Braylon, and teams have told him no. They basically told him he's worth the same as Walker Kessler right now, but he will have none of it. You're on the precipice of owning the East. And instead of giving your team an opportunity to go and find that wing robin for Cade, you've become the biggest distraction in town. I'm sorry. I know that people are focused on Scuba because he's the biggest pitcher in the MLB, but this is a bigger distraction to the actual team because we thought we had leverage, but now him talking about playing out at the 9.6 qualifying offer, that really screws the Pistons and anything they want to do this year and next year. So I'm starting to get very frustrated with DUREN. Y'all saw me boil over when the news hit during our show that Victor Wembanyama took less than what we're hearing today, and we'll talk about in a minute, of what DUREN supposedly wants.
Do me a favor. Put up that graphic, B-Lad, if you will, that I threw into the Slack. It should be a graphic of Jalen DUREN's playoff stats, playoff numbers, if you will. As he's looking for that, let me just throw – I see you made it look bigger and better. Here you go. Let's just throw this out here first. Okay? You ready for this? Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Joel Embiid, Jason Tatum, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Anthony Davis, Jaylen Brown, Steph Curry, Nikola Jokic, Cat, a.k.a. Karl Anthony Towns. You know what they have in common? They are the players in the NBA that make over 57. No, those are 57 and up. Because notice Cade, I didn't mention him. He's at 50.
Yes.
Those are the players that make 57 or more. I repeat, SGA, Joel Embiid, Jason Tatum, Giannis, Anthony Davis, Jaylen Brown, Steph Curry, Nikola Jokic. Nowhere do I see a space for Jalen DUREN at $57 million a year. You want to ask for $57 million a year? Okay, let's go back and check when it's most important. Not the regular season, which a lot of people who love Jalen DUREN want to go back and point to, and they bring up, look at what he was in the regular season. Look at this all-star. Look at what you see from him. This is a guy that can give you 20 and 15. I care about the playoffs. The goal is to win another Larry O'Brien. And when you look at the 2025 players, minus 28 in plus minus against the Knicks. Minus 28, 11 points, 10 rebounds. You would expect that in the next season that a young guy, he'll get better. He will show prove. He will show more. He will show you that he's been in the lab. He'll show you he's been in the gym. He will show you that the experience of the 2024 season will play well to last year. Well, more games, less points, less rebounds. At least the rebounds could have gone up. The rebounds went down, and the plus or minus stayed in the minus. This is the individual that has come to the table and asked the Detroit Pistons for $57 million. When we were sitting in here last week, the week before that, and the week before that, trying to figure out how we could get him for 42. And now it's gone up $15 million more dollars. I know the money goes up, and I know the market goes up, but it goes up for when players go up. And coming off that playoff performance that we all watched and all broke our hearts every single game, when we're looking at the TV and we're waiting for Jalen DUREN to turn into the Jalen DUREN that made the All-Star game, it just never happened. Never quite happened. I don't see giving him a $57 million a year contract. I don't understand it.
No doubt about it. I mean,
$50 million.
I get it. I get it. It's more money. I get it. It's inflation. I get it that the money won't, like you see $71 million. I don't care. You're making $57 million a year. You got to earn it. I got to be able to look back and point to why I'm paying you that. And unfortunately, I can't do that with Jalen.
And personally, I know I'm in a small percentage of people that think this way, but if I'm in an organization and I look at the next guy and I know that he does more for the team than me, Cade Cunningham, I do not want to be paid more than him. I know that I do not deserve to be paid more than him. Jalen deserves to get paid and paid handsomely. $57 million is crack talk.
I'm just trying to be confused. Like, what was the thought? What was the conversation with he and his agent? Hey, look, man, this is what you like. Where is the $57 million coming from?
Get it all, baby.
I just don't like. I just don't see it. I don't understand the B lad. I just don't. I just don't.
I mean, I don't.
I digress.
I don't either. He's a young player still. He's got a lot to prove in his NBA career. But that's the whole point. Is he's young, so it's not like he's out. Like he doesn't. It's just so hard.
Say his last contract.
You're right. Exactly right. That's exactly what I was saying. Thank you for
I knew where you're going
for me. Yeah. So long time for him in the league, but yeah, as of right now, $57 million is unreal.
Hoof-hearted in the chat. Scooble's situation sucks, but be mad at Chris Ilitch, not Scooble.
I agree.
I mean,
because realistically, if they did what they're supposed to do a year ago, a year and a half ago, 18 months, 2 years ago, we wouldn't be sitting here. We wouldn't be talking about Terry Scuba because they would have already moved on. They would have already got the money for him. They fell in love with the player, and they lost the opportunity to get the value was high. I agree with that take. I agree
100%.
with that. Let's take a quick commercial break, get back on track. More to talk about with LeBron going to Philadelphia. The East has now shifted. Nobody's talking about the West. Remember last year it was West this and West that and OKC and Anthony Edwards and this, that, and the third. Seems like the power resides in the East for now. Anson, tell me a little bit about All Day IPA by Founders.
I'd love to because it's Friday, and I know you guys are headed to the store. You're going to be standing in front of that cooler looking at all the garbage beers, and then Founders pops into your vision, and you're going to choose that all-day IPA because it's been the king of the IPA category for 15 years because it's never bitter. It's refreshing, citrusy, and balanced. It's got that 4.7% alcohol by volume, so it'll pace you throughout the day. It's the weekend, guys. Get to the store. Get yourself some all-day IPA from Founders. When you do, make sure you drink it responsibly.
The Super Bowl parade in Detroit will be one for the record books. Detroit just does it different. Woodward Sports, your official Super Bowl or Bust Lions network.
You know how some things are so good they should be world famous, but they're not? Our house-made vinaigrette is one of those things. And the antipasto salad, we drizzle it over. Same with our hand-battered chicken tenders. Original recipe soups and pasta sauces. It's almost as if our original world-famous Detroit-style pizza is mocking them. And that's not very nice.
Some days call for light, others lean bold. What about everything in between? All Day IPA, the easy choice for every day. Citrusy, crisp, refreshing. Flavor you can float with. Light on the hops, big on refreshment. One's great. Two, even better. Brewed with you in mind. No shortcuts, no fuss. Big on flavor, never too much. All Day IPA. Hop into easy.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Fitness where your fitness is essential. Around the country, all the gyms are popping up, and they're usually purple and gold. That's because they do it the right way. No judgment, trainers on staff, and then the equipment, the locker room, place in general is just squeaky clean. Why don't you excel, start, continue, whatever you want to do. Just make sure you do it at Planet Fitness, man. We're down there having a good time. We're vibing out. I'm telling you, the new machines is one that does it for me. New machines and aqua hydro massage chairs that you can do after the workout. They make the price range affordable. They make the workout experience enjoyable. They just do things the right way. Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential. Welcome back. If you haven't heard, if you've been under a rock, LeBron James now with the Philadelphia 76ers took his talents to Philly, if you will. Here's a question. Here's a fun question. LeBron James now sits at 4 rings. I think he has 2 and 2. He has 1, 2. Yeah, he has 4 rings. He has Cleveland, 2 in Miami, 1 with the Los Angeles Lakers. Everywhere that he's gone thus far, he has a ring. We always talk about him not staying in one spot like Kobe, like Jordan, etc. What will this do for his legacy if he wins one in Philly? So now LeBron will literally have gone to Miami to win 2, come back to Cleveland to win one, which had never been done, go out to L.A., get a ring. They hadn't been there for a while. And now goes to Philly. And this will be the first win that Philly has won since 1984.
Peasants, 83.
83, excuse me. There you go. I see you on it.
I'm pissed because I was going to start calling them the Peasants, and now I may only get a year of that.
Here you go. So what does it do for his legacy if he can go to another franchise, help them win a title, especially a franchise that has not won in 33 years? Does that add to it? Because I think we always make it about Mike and this, that, and the third. He's not getting 6. He's not going 6 for 6. Most people still have him at 2 or 3. Does this help his legacy?
It does everything that he needs.
Okay.
It puts you at 5. Now you're with Kobe. But it does something that really nobody else has done. I know there's some journeymen that got multiple championships.
Robert
Ory, John Sally.
Hey, shout out, Spider.
But this is the move. And I told you I didn't want him to be in Detroit because I didn't want the Pistons to put him in the GOAT conversation. I don't believe he's there. To me, it's not about the longevity, especially in the information era of players. I want your top 3 years, like your peak, those years. Nobody touches Jordan, in my opinion, in that. But when you look at the whole picture, the whole career, you're obviously measuring Larry O'Brien's and rings at that point. And for me, I love to give him all the reasons why he's not, but I'm sorry. If you go to Philly and win their first championship in over 40 years, you brought the only one to Cleveland. You brought the only 2. Excuse me, they got one with Shaq and Dwayne. But still, this is, the way that he's done it, I think the bubble is a joke. But he won the bubble one. Some people love that. Yeah. You get back-to-back. I don't care if he was the number 2 of a big 3. The fact that you get a 5th ring in a 4th town is undeniable. Period, Bray.
What does this do for B-Lad? You're a younger guy, so you've grown up in the King James era. You've grown up with them saying that he's 2 or saying that he's 1. Hell, I don't know. You may think he's 1. Yeah. Side note, the conversation about the longevity, I always hate that one. Because, to me, if you at your peak are not better than me at my peak, I don't care how long you play for. You're not going to be better. You can play for 40 years. If your peak's not better than mine, it doesn't matter. Where are you at with LeBron? Because this could be something, 4 teams, 4 rings.
Yeah. No, 100%. And just to put it in perspective for people in the chat, for people that don't know, LeBron James has been playing in the NBA as long as I've been alive. Since 2003. That was the year I was born. So
shout out. Thanks for making me feel old.
I know, right?
I drafted in 05.
Sorry.
And I'm older than LeBron.
I do think LeBron is the greatest player of all time, obviously, just because I've been able to grow up watching him. I wasn't able to watch Jordan. I did see the documentary, and that did put some sense into my brain a little bit. But no, if LeBron wins a ring with Philly, you got to give it to him.
That's a dang good story, too.
Yeah, it's a great story.
Hopping franchise to franchise, scooping up rings here and there.
Like
I know it's a different era. Michael Jordan did his thing.
Yeah, exactly right. If he wins with Philly, he's the reason why the people are gonna put it like, LeBron's the reason why he came to Philly. They have a loaded squad. LeBron was a big factor in that. And then you got to put him in that kind. He's got to be the greatest if he does it.
Yeah. For me, I don't think he's the greatest if he does it, but I does think it adds to the conversation. I think it does something different and unique for him. He's been in 4 different spots. He's achieved 4 rings, especially to do it in year 1 with Philly would be great. Yeah, I don't think you get that type of – for me, it's not like he's coming to Philly as the number 1 player. Shout out to Kool-Aid in the building. Can't wait to talk about this. It's not as if – you can jump in right now. It's not as if he's coming to Philly – as the number 1 option. They're paying him $50 million or $57 in the case of JALEN DUREN, and then he's taking them to a championship with all of it on his back. Like, if they win a championship, you're talking about Joel Embiid, you're talking about Tyrese Maxey, you're talking about Jaylen Brown. 2 of those guys have already won championships. So I don't think it adds to that level, but I think it creates another unique story and another long line of things that he has. Kool-Aid, LeBron to Philly. What does that do to Philly? Where does that put them in your top East 8? I had them at 2.
It's like you want to be respectful to the former peasants, but shout out to Anson
current peasants right here.
New York Knicks. But you know what? Philly is a squad that they had a fabulous offseason. They did what they had to do. realistically, I think the Knicks, they got a little bit of trouble. But you saw their pedigree in the finals, and that's where I can't necessarily dethrone them. Right now, with the moves Philly has made, I got to put them at number 2. I do. You got a guy in Jaylen Brown who should have been a top 5 MVP candidate. He finished, top 6 or 7.
Yep.
A guy who should have been first-team All-NBA, but we understand how those politics go. So he finished second-team All-NBA. A guy who was a finals MVP. Like, the pedigree that they were missing, like, even though I like Tyrese Maxey, and there's a lot of people who like Joel Embiid, the pedigree that they were missing was championship-level pedigree. They get that with Jaylen Brown. They get that with LeBron James. Yeah. Meanwhile, the Pistons still haven't gotten that number 2 for Cade Cunningham.
I'm glad you said it. Look, let's take a quick commercial break. I know I'm a little bit behind. We extended the first segment. Let's try to get back on track. We're still 5 minutes. I promise you, I'm going to get back on track within the next 30. Let's get a message in from Water Hazard, and when we get back, more conversation. LeBron now in Philly. What does that mean for the Pistons? And Kool-Aid, we haven't even begun to touch the conversation. Jalen Duren's asking for how much money? When we get back, 100%. Water Hazards, talk about it.
Tell us, Cam.
Water Hazard, I got you. Water Hazard is the very first canned vodka brought to you by Founders here on the west side of Michigan. At 5% ABV, it's citrusy, refreshing, and gluten-free. Best served over ice with a slice of lemon. Get $5 cans at any Art and Jake's locations throughout Michigan, Southeast Michigan on Mondays, Thursdays, and Sundays. Please drink responsibly.
Game is won in the trenches, and our big fellas don't mess around. The Woodward Heavyweights on Woodward Sports.
Planet Fitness now has even more best-in-class strength equipment. Join today for $1 down and save.
We're stepping it up.
We're not slowing down.
Finding new faith, new focus.
Love that new equipment smell.
So, you in?
Join the club today. Save when you join for just $1 down, $15 a month. Planet Fitness. We're all strong on this planet.
Hunting season is almost here, Detroit, and your Lions are on the prowl. Make sure you're locked into Woodward Sports for all the Dan Campbell reactions, Jared Goff touchdowns, Amon-Ra first downs, Penny pancakes, Kirby picks, Gibbs big plays, and of course, Jack Fox's leg. Stay locked in on all your Lions coverage right here on Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
You know, I've been telling you that my dad got LASIK, and I asked him last night where he got it. And he did actually get it at the Aldo Eye Center, so I asked him some more questions. He said it was only 8 minutes. He said it was painless, and I know for a fact the very next day, because he was telling me all about it probably 5 years ago, about how it changed his life. Listen, whether you've had bad eyesight your whole life, or maybe you got into your 40s and it's starting to go away, you don't have to just deal with it. You just have to call the Aldo Eye Center. And we've got an awesome summer promotion for you, $16.99 per eye, regardless of prescription. So make the call today, 248-553-9800. Get your eyes checked today. And if you need it, get LASIK today. Invest in yourself, invest in your eyes with Aldo.
All right, welcome back in. We were just having a conversation with one Brandon Kool-Aid Dent talking about the ongoing thing that is LeBron James to Philly, and also Jalen Duren and the things that have come out with him. Want to get into the Jalen Duren conversation, and before we go any further, got to tell you, obviously it was sorted. It was a source that was Yahoo Sports, so it's not necessarily anything that is directly coming from Jalen or his camp. If so, though, that's more so the lines of what we were doing. Why does the situation with LeBron work Why might not it work, if you will? Anson and I both kind of on opposite sides of that, if you will. I think it will work. Anson thinks it may not work long term in the playoffs. A lot of moving factors, and which he's correct about that. Why might it work, might not it work?
You know what? When I look at the situation, I think it comes down to what's going on in the middle. We looked at this playoffs, and if you aren't tough enough in that front court, you're going to have some troubles, especially when you look at the teams you may have to face in the Western Conference. So for me, that's where I'm looking at. If Joel Embiid cannot stay healthy, if LeBron James isn't the LeBron James of old, then this is something that can look a lot like Philly from last year. Really good, but not necessarily championship level. Now, Jaylen Brown.
Not to cut you off, when you say LeBron of old, was last year LeBron, was that enough, or you need more?
I think with the makeup they have right now, if you got Joel Embiid, that can be enough. Okay. But when you get to the playoffs and you need that extra gear, is Tyrese Maxey enough? Is Jaylen Brown enough? This is where I was going with it. I think Jaylen Brown, he stirs a little bit of that drink a little differently. And when he did win with the Boston Celtics, it wasn't as if their front court was anything like too formidable.
Yeah.
You know, and so that's where I do believe he adds something to them. But I think a lot of this will rest on Joel Embiid, their front court, as well as LeBron James. Is he going to be there, or is he going to be one of those kind of injury-riddled players who isn't necessarily given an impact that you would need from a LeBron James to win a championship?
Yeah, that Joel Embiid, I think, is the key piece here. Like, obviously, Tyrese Maxey, one thing I learned about him when James Harden was there, he didn't look at James Harden as somebody that was elite, that had been MVP, changed the league, and all these things. He used to get with James Harden. Like, he didn't believe in James Harden taking it serious at times. And you saw them getting arguing matches in the playoffs 2 seasons ago. So shout out to him. I know he's taking that process serious. Joel Embiid's never had anybody on his team that was the guy that can tell him what to do and command the most out of him. Joel Embiid likes to play a baby a lot. He likes to be in his feelings and be in his way and be in his – it's going to be interesting to see him listening to LeBron, because we saw that kind of budding with Anthony Davis and LeBron when he first got to Los Angeles. There was a lot of butting of heads, if you will, for a second.
Kool-Aid brought something very interesting up, and that is what the front court meant in these playoffs. You saw Cleveland dominate the paint against the Pistons. That's what cost us that series.
Orlando.
Is LeBron the starting 4? Right?
I mean, you're looking at
your
the situation,
3, right?
yeah.
Edgecombe's your 2. Max is your 1. So now, and I don't hate LeBron at the 4.
Yeah.
But is he willing to bang at 41? Is he
willing
willing to get into paint and muscle around? Because if you lose Embiid, Adem Bona is your big guy. All right? And he's not giving me a Bona. All right? Because they got no 4s, they got no 5s outside of a guy that plays 53 games a year. So that's really, really very interesting. The other side that I don't like about this is what this means to Maxey, a guy that realistically is a top 5 efficiency guy, ready to be the undisputed captain and owner of the 76ers team. So there's a lot to it. But the LeBron at 4 is fascinating to me, because you said that. I'm like, wait a second. Who is there for? Their backup, Barlow? Dominic Barlow?
Yeah. It's the front court for me. That's where the problem is. And when you look at LeBron James, it's not just are you ready to bang. When we played teams that had those 4s that could go out and shoot and stretch, they were crushing us to the tune of it didn't matter how good or bad the Chicago Bulls were. We just knew Nikola Vucevic is going to dot us.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter which Lopez twin we played, they are going to dot us. It doesn't even matter if their team was trash. They could be on a high school team. They're going to pop us. And so that's where I'm looking at LeBron James, who's getting a little bit older, and it's like now you're talking about matchups where sometimes you're having to bang down low, and then what? Now what are you doing? Now you're rushing out up to the top of the key to try and defend somebody on a swing? These are some of the things that sucked the Pistons defense in Asar Thompson, and now you're talking about asking LeBron James to do this as well. There are definitely some reasons and some things to consider as to why it might not work out. Now, if these guys are healthy in playoff time, they're going to be tough to beat, because you are able to ride a lot on that starting 5 that they have, but it's just a matter of Embiid, LeBron, their health.
Embiid and Brown, their health. I think health seems to be the answer for everything these days. If the Lions are healthy, they'll be good. If the Pistons are healthy, they'll be good. If LeBron and these older players say health, health, health. I never remember that being a conversation always. Like back in the day, like, I don't feel like we came on the sports desk 20 years ago and was like, hey, man, if this guy is healthy.
Because they played through it.
They played through it.
Like, now everything is like, But that isn't that the spark of every conversation. It's like you have to preface it. It's like, man, if this guy is healthy, if this team is healthy.
Bro, Grant Hill left his ankle on the court.
Shout out Joshua Corona Grauer, who ruptured his testicle last week and stayed in the game and got a hit. Yeah, there's still some Iron Men left, but for the most part, they're gone. They're all soft. Even Stafford stayed in the game with a broken rib against the Browns. We don't see that kind of dedication anymore, Bray.
Yeah, absolutely correct, man. I think it's also not necessarily how soft they are versus what they're allowed or what the pull is.
Yeah.
So when the pull becomes that, growing up that way, like you don't even look at it as being hardcore or not hardcore. You're like, this is protocol.
Hey, man, Scuba felt a twinge and he pitched through it.
Oh, get out of here. Speaking of players that disappoint me, look, I told you guys we were going to get back on track, and we are on track. We'll take this commercial break. This guy right here, we know it's an article. It may not be true. But what's going on? What is the holdup? What is he asking for? The Jalen Duren situation is still going on. We'll come back. We'll tackle that a little bit and get you guys ready for the weekend. But let's get a message in from Mortgage Pros, Anson.
Hey, your weekends will be a lot more comfortable once you're working for these guys because you're going to change you and your family's trajectory. I know you've been thinking about it. Today's the day. Make the call. Michigan's #1 mortgage broker is hiring, and they are helping people achieve their dreams. mtgopros.com is their website, or you can call 248-416-1361 to find out more. They're centrally located right in Troy, and they have an unbelievable employee culture that we got to see firsthand at their 4th annual block party. They're Mortgage Pros, and they want you.
The next generation of Detroit sports media is here. Crunch Time is back on Woodward Sports. Join Jeff Iafrate and Booner Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Taking Detroit sports coverage to the next level with massive interviews, viral moments, and the best live reactions. Get ready, Detroit. The young guns are taking over. Crunch Time on Woodward Sports.
You're building a whole combat sports enterprise in the heart of it in Detroit, and that's what I think is the coolest.
I think with opportunity, right? Like you said, maybe you like to punch people in the face for real, and you want to be a boxer, and you have an option there. Maybe you don't like getting punched in the face, and you want to make, you like the theatricals and the storylines, and so you have an avenue here. Maybe you start at one and then want to change to the other. I don't care. I just want you in the building and know that you have some place to go to explore that. Just having the ability to, what do you want to do and how do you want to do it to the best of your ability? And, it all starts with the kids.
Finally, life-enhancing LASIK surgery at a price you can afford. Michigan's most experienced eye surgeon, Dr. Yaldo, is offering the most advanced LASIK at just $1,699 per eye, regardless of your prescription. Imagine not just being free from contacts and glasses, but actually seeing better without them. This limited 2026 spring offer is thousands less than others charge. Go to YaldoEyeCenter.com for your free evaluation and save.
Jameer Gibbs, breakout season, loading.
Inside the 5, Gibbs to the end zone, touchdown!
Woodward Sports, the most dominant Detroit sports coverage around.
Well, you got your all-day IPA. Now you need something to eat with it. Why not get the original? The Detroit-style deep dish from our friends at Buddy's. They've been doing it for 80 years, and we want to save you 20% off. Buddy'sPizza.com is where you're going to head, and that code word Woodward20 is what you're going to enter. That will get you that 20% off your next order, but it also works for their catering. Pizza parties, grad parties, whatever it is, you want a lot of pizza pie, we want to save you up to $200. Same code, same website, Buddy'sPizza.com. But it's not just pizza. You see the salad up there. They've got pasta, meatballs, chicken wings, everything you need for a great Friday night or a great party. So check them out. They are the original. They are Buddy's Pizza.
What's going on, everybody? We're back. And we got Kool-Aid over there, man, as he likes to say.
Double D.
And we back. Or Double D, as some individuals call him. Not me. What's the chat talking about? What's the engagement from the chat right now before we jump back into Jalen Duren?
The chat, they're not happy with Duren.
Okay.
But you know what? I'm going to tell the chat what they need to do right now, because I was going to wait until the top of the hour, the 3 o'clock hour, but why not do it now? Why not double your spots on the prize wheel for every super chat for the rest of the show, because this Grind Line book, autographed not only by the author and inscribed to one Darren McCarty, it's about him. The book's about him and the Grind Line. You see it right there, inscribed to him. And then at the bottom, you got Darren McCarty as well. We upgraded the puck. This has got some amazing provenance, a very, very cool collector's item for the Detroit Red Wing fans out there. I'm putting together the prize wheel. You keep your super chats coming in and let us know a little more on how you feel about Jalen Duren.
Kool-Aid, we were having some jokes in the chat earlier. I think I want to say it was probably Jeff Iafredi text, and he was like, man, Pistons won 60 games last year with the number 1 seed, got to the second round of the playoffs, and they don't have a Christmas game. What say you? The Pistons deserve a Christmas game?
I do believe they deserve a Christmas game. You got a top 5 player on your team. You have one of the best players in the game on your team. One of the best respected among the players. You want to look at JB Bickerstaff, and you see the era that he's now stepping into as well.
Team USA.
Team USA, and being the coach, being voted by his peers to be the best coach in the league. And not just that, voted by his coaches unanimously to be the new president of the Coaches Association. So you got 2 stars here, 2 faces of the league. I think it's a miss when you don't have these guys included in your big-time games, especially when they're supposed to be a big-time player.
I love you. I love you, Kool-Aid. I love you. And I hate to do this. When I ask you why the Detroit Pistons should get a game and you mention their coach, check this out. People ain't coming to see a coach. Like people ain't coming to see bald-head JB Bickerstaff. Like if you tell me he's Phil Jackson, maybe people could come to see a Phil Jackson or one of those type coaches.
Can't wait to tune in for that well-coached game.
For me, this is why I don't have a problem with it. One, when you look at it, you mentioned Cade Cunningham.
Yeah.
I was waiting for the second player you're going to mention. I was waiting for the third player you're going to mention. Like, when you look at games, I used to go to games all the time when I was in Cleveland on Christmas Day because, well, there's LeBron James playing against Shaq and the Lakers and Kobe, playing against Tim Duncan, Manu Ginobili, and Tony Parker, playing against a young OKC with James Harden, Dwayne Wade, Kevin Durant. Same thing when I was in L.A. Went to a Christmas game. This was Shaq and D-Wade versus Kobe for the first time. I think it's star power that attracts on Christmas, and the Pistons lack the star power. Cavs-Knicks, that's the early game on Christmas Day. Cavs-Knicks, you know what's there. You know what the champs, the semifinal matchup, if you will. Mavs-Warriors. I feel like you got young Yaxel Lindbergh. You still got Steph Curry, maybe his swan song year. Yeah, shout out. You got the Wolves and the Nuggets. That's an ongoing rivalry with Jokic and Anthony Edwards, the Ant-Man. And then you have Spurs Thunder. I don't even need to mention what that is. Pistons want to get on that Christmas Day. It ain't about being the number 1 seed because they play a style of basketball people don't necessarily want to see. We love it here. They muddy it up. They make it gritty. They make it physical. Play great defense. People around the country in those markets don't want to see it, and especially just with Cade. So you got to get guys. In order to get guys, you got to sign guys. Why can't we sign Jalen Duren?
Look, I agree with a lot of the sentiments in terms of what people are looking for, but that's where, for me personally, you look at the Denver Nuggets, even before they became a championship team, you look at the Milwaukee Bucks, even before they became a championship team, and there wasn't much to write home about their surrounding core. And Cade can say something that a lot of them couldn't do early on. He actually has an all-star teammate. So if they've proven that they will take the one-star led team, championship or not, whether they've come through on the expectation or not, and they will feature them. And that to me is where I do take a little bit of disrespect at the star power that Cade is showing, because some of your other young stars in the league who have put up similar stats or who they are now starting to group him in with, no, those guys kind of got those red carpets rolled out for them even before their teams were anything. And so for me, I do believe when you go 44 wins, you make the playoffs, 60 wins, you take a step forward and you were the number 1 seed in the playoffs, and your guy is actually one of the top 5 players in MVP voting, I say you got to give him an opportunity. All the things you asked him to do prior, and you said it would make a difference. You said winning would cure it all. Now we're seeing actually winning doesn't cure it all. Now you're telling us play less basketball to make more of a difference. For me, that just doesn't compute.
Yeah, that's fair. And I think the other side of that for me, though, is the players you mentioned, one guy's name is the Greek Freak.
Yeah.
Hard stop. His name is the Greek Freak. He
pretty
stayed
good.
in Milwaukee, won his championship, so you saw it was worth it, and he's still pretty good. Year
Yeah.
14, he's still commanding the type of presence that he did before the Miami Heat trade. The Joker. They're telling me the Joker's better than Shaq statistically. They're telling me what the Joker is.
There's two reasons why I brought those names up, too.
And that's why I threw it right back at you. I appreciate the alley-oop. They're telling me all the things that he is. You watch a game, it's 47, 15, and 15 has become normal for him. Like, these are the type of players that are getting those games. And you also bring up the Pistons. Yeah, K did his thing, but if I'm the NBA, if I'm booking this Christmas game, what do I have to go on?
You hear what they're telling them.
I have to go on the last thing I saw. The last thing I saw is a team that did not come to play in the second round of the playoffs in the biggest moments when the light was on them, when they were at home in Game 7. Your number 2 player, since you don't want to go out in the draft, since you don't want to go out and get yourself a number 2, get you one of those players that can change the needle. He's a guy that didn't show up. He's your center. He's averaging 8.5 rebounds per game and 9 points. So if I'm making the schedule, I'm not going to put y'all on the schedule because of that.
For me, no city deals with disrespect better than Detroit.
Facts.
I don't have an issue with this. You don't have your other all-star under contract.
Yeah.
All right? So, your third core guy, awesome time to watch. Asar Thompson, one of the more marketable players in the league, although they haven't figured out how to do it. But those twins, over the next 5-10 years, you watch. The NBA is going to find a way to focus on them.
How about they start with the fact that they're twins? Like, stop missing the mark.
Sure.
They're twins.
No doubt. And the most athletic guys in the league as well. But when you look at this whole situation, they are a great coach team. That doesn't sell tickets. They're not high flyers. This is the most high-flying Pistons team we've probably ever had, but your best player doesn't play above the rim. He plays the right way.
But neither does Jalen Brunson.
Well, Jalen Brunson is loved by the biggest media market in the country.
I know.
You know what I'm saying? And I think that he's garbage. The only reason that this doesn't make any sense is because Cade is truly a guy you need to feature if you're the NBA. The whole NBA caught on to him. He won the All-Star game last year. He ended up being in the MVP conversation. They had to give him the okay because he played 63 games to be qualified at 65 to be in the MVP conversation. This guy is next. He is one of the 5 faces of the league. So to that point, you should have him playing on Christmas Day. The number 1 seed who won 60 games. But to his point, they fell on their damn face. And I would love for them not to play on Christmas this year so that they're so pissed off that day that they don't forget about it come April, May, and June. And then you earn your game in 2027, Bray. I'm okay with it.
I feel you. I'm just for the Pistons, it's not about K. Yeah, K's the guy, but with that being said, it's the following cast.
Exactly.
It's the cast. It's the lead up. Like, am I turning in on Christmas Day to watch Dennis Jenkins? Am I turning in I'm not. I'm being honest. Like, am I turning on Christmas Day to watch
Duncan Robinson support your alumni,
Paul Reed? Am I turning on Christmas Day to John Collins is a must-see TV.
But what
Torian Prince is a showstopper. Let's go.
He was the guy. So
people did the same thing with Joker for years. People did the same thing with the supporting cast around Giannis for years. Before they were champions and before they had major and long-term success.
Yeah.
But they still featured those guys. Why? Because they were those guys. And for me, I think it is a little disrespectful to Cade.
Okay.
Who was your number 2 points per game scorer in the playoffs? He turned up. I'm not going to 60 wins and 28 points per game in the playoffs. Only person better than him by 0.3 points per game was Jalen Brunson in this year's playoffs. That's Cade in 14 games. Yeah, Mr. Peasant himself. And so for me, it's like, yes, I don't care about if it's Paul Reed or for this or for that. If you believe Cade is that guy and he's earned that, you put him on there and you tell him, bro, it's on you to go out there and go bananas. Because when they featured them at Madison Square Gardens, I bet you the NBA was blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Definitely was, because he went
Cookie
out there
Monster.
and he did what? There you go. Cade versus Kevin Durant early in his career. They still play those highlights. They still bring up those comments. And so Cade shows, bro, if you put me in that spotlight, I'm going to do what I have to do. And more times than not, what have we seen him do? We've seen him get some pretty big wins. We've seen him have
Madison
some
Square
pretty
Cade,
big
baby.
performances. And that's where I'm like, give this guy his shot. He's put the wins in. He took the next steps. He was one of your best and most prolific scorers in the playoffs. And how many people knew that? But he was.
You're talking about taking the next steps.
Yeah.
What are the next steps for Jalen Duren? We'll talk about that when we get back from commercial break. We'll
It's a
talk
loaded
right
question.
Now. Hey, 100%. You see how I did that? Dropped it on you and got in, got out. We stand on point.
I don't think I could defend him that way.
Jason Tower, you be appreciated. We're excited to welcome Icon Auto Repair and Collision. We're excited to welcome into the fold, man. We at Woodward Sports, the groups that we partner with, the teams, the groups, the sponsors, they're individuals that you want to be a part of as well. If you've been in an accident or your vehicle needs repairs, make sure you trust the team at Icon Auto Repair and Collision. With 3 convenient metropolitan Detroit locations, Madison Square Heights, Shelby, as well as Pontiac, they've got you covered. They're all around. And they offer free car loans as well as even potentially paying your car deductible. This is a place that you want to go. You want to take care of your baby. You want to take care of your ride. Well, come do it at Icon Auto Repair and Collision.
You smell that? That's Brad Holmes cooking. And the off-season smells good. Woodward Sports.
This is a hungry bear. This is Carl and Jeff. Carl isn't worried because he has focused energy to spare thanks to Thrive energy pouches. Jeff didn't use Thrive when Carl offered. The bear is happy about that.
Don't just survive, thrive.
It's bear hunting season, and Dan Campbell is hungry for some kneecaps.
If you can just get a hold of them and you start dragging their ass out to the deep, dark abyss, you can drown them.
The Kings of the North are back for another year of the brand new Lions. Make sure you're locked in to Detroit's #1 sports network for all the news and info on your Detroit Lions.
Woodward Sports, let's go.
Hey, if you've been thinking about buying a new home or refinancing your current home, you need to make a call today to Supreme Lending. Chad and Chris are standing by to take your call, to walk you through the process and get you into the best shape by closing time. That means lower interest rates, better terms, maybe a 0% down payment program. I can guarantee you this. If you mention Woodward Sports, we're going to save you up to $500 off of your home appraisal. These guys are the best in the game, so give them a call. Chad and Chris over at Supreme Lending.
Welcome back into the second hour of the Brother Network Show.
For a minute, I'm a little frustrated with our chat here, guys.
Okay, go ahead.
No super chats. I'm going to be honest with you. Guys don't hit a nice number today. I'm going to wait a whole week longer than this. This isn't just a signed puck. Yeah. This is a legitimate provenance-filled item for a very awesome Red Wings super fan. So get those super chats in, whatever you want to talk about. Impress us, guys. We haven't gotten one yet today. The rest of the hour, I'm doubling your spots on the wheel. Let's go.
Training camp starts tomorrow.
Yeah.
For the Detroit Lions Rookies Report. Regular training camp starts on Tuesday. Next week, you know what? We'll get this party started. Next week, I got a Jameer Gibbs autographed jersey that we will be giving away next week. No. Give them the preview now. You stay with us this long Friday. Next week, we'll be giving away the Jameer Gibbs autographed jersey. When we went to that event, the UMCU, me and B-Lad, we got it signed, thought about you, and held it to camp started. You know how hard it was for me to hold that jersey? I've been trying to give it away for the last 2 months. But we waited. Training camp's here. We will talk a little bit about camp, and we will give that jersey away next week.
So they got to come bring it so that we can give this away today.
100%. If Anson isn't happy, then I don't know if we can make the deal go down as planned. Now, before we went to commercial break, we teased it a little bit. You understand what's going on with JALEN DUREN, been a holdout on his side. The two groups have not been able to come to terms on a contract for the 2026 season. Where are you right now? Because we did a poll earlier. We were having some fun. Who frustrates you the most? Is it JALEN DUREN? Is it Dylan Larkin? Is it Tarek Skubal? All three situations different, but all three frustrating. JALEN DUREN's is a little bit on the more frustrating side for me. Come on. After the playoffs last year, what's the hold up, big guy?
Yep. JALEN DUREN is the one who has the least amount of say-so or gripe leverage, in this thing. Yeah. I mean, leverage, he's going to have it because of what he played himself into, but in terms of gripe, he doesn't hold what Dylan Larkin has given to this organization in the city. And you see, as soon as he goes on to other grass and pastures, it definitely is greener for him. You see the level of play, and you see the level of success on the world stage and on the national hockey stage, on the national scene, the global scene. I'm sorry. So it's like when the All-Star Weekend and all of that, when he's playing with other people, and you just see hockey just lighten back up. And I'm not going to talk about everything, but obviously him being born and raised here, him, and the things that he's given, it's like, I think he has a right to at least state at this stage, after no playoffs, after a couple different regimes, to ask his way out. And when you look at Tarek Skubal, he's put in the work. He's been your back-to-back AL Cy Young. So even the things that people thought beforehand, well, can he get there? He did, and then did it again. And so he even has more of a claim and more of a gripe. But when you look at Jalen Duren, who's just starting off, it's the first contract, and a lot of us were comfortable with overpaying him just a little bit, but now you reportedly want more than Cade Cunningham. That's where we have a problem. And so I'm not against anybody getting their bread and getting their money, but when we're comparing it to those situations, to me the most frustrating one right now is Jalen Duren.
Yeah, realistically, I think it is the most frustrating one. We kind of touched on a little bit, Anson and B-Lad. I think, like you said, man, like it's trying to ask for more than Cade. Here's my thing. When individuals go for the moon, and we don't know what the actual number that he is asking for. This is a report. It says 57 and alleged. It could be 50. It could be 45. It could be 52. We don't know what it is. We're assuming more. When people are trying to get the moon, when they're trying to get the house, when they're trying to get astronomical numbers, like it makes me worry how good they feel they are. It makes me wonder if they feel like the moment right here, I don't know if I'll get this moment again. We heard Dan Campbell say that about the playoffs. Like, I don't know if we'll ever get here again. Now, I believe the Lions have an opportunity, but switching it back to Duren, if I felt I was good, I'm going to take a little bit more than I thought I was worth, 42, 43, 44, and we can rock and roll this thing again because there is more. Like you said, he's only 22 years old. There are more deals, plural, to come. 57 or 50, whatever it is, a little bit nervous.
Yeah, I mean, I would be too. This guy, I really don't understand where all of this is coming from. The rest of the league told you what. The rest of the league told you what you're worth.
Get your bag, boo.
You and your crew went around shopping your wares, seeing if somebody could put together the amount of money that would make you comfortable where you could come back to trade and say, make this sign and trade work.
They all saw the footage from the 2026 playoffs.
Yeah, and at a certain point, man, like the 9.6 tender seems a little wild. We got something on the back here that an economist put out.
Make this make sense for the viewing audience.
This economist basically broke down Jalen Duren if he was one of us. What he made this year versus what's being offered and what he wants. So, if you made $25,000 right now, right, and your company came and offered you $120,000 each year for the next 5 years, but you want $150,000, and instead of taking the $120,000, which mind you is a 5x upgrade, you're willing to come to work next year for $12,500 more, $37.5, in the hopes that a year later you can get that $150,000. Now, when you put that into terms for us, people struggling to make their car payment, struggling to buy baby formula, everyone's taking that $120,000, Bray. Now, I'm curious from your point of view because you have had these big paychecks. You've been in the arbitration room. You've talked with your agent and heard the crap from the team. We're hearing about this from Skubal right now. He left that situation not feeling great because, well, the team's trying to break you down while your agent's trying to build you up. I get getting your bag. And I know I'm a white guy telling a black guy how he should get his money. But at the end of the day, this is about humans and about taking care of yours and maximizing your potential and getting your bag. How do you feel about what we see here from an economist, putting it into terms for us as regular beings? Because I got to tell you, 120 would be awesome.
First of all, I ain't never going to listen to a white man try to tell me how to get my money. No, I'm absolutely joking. You know what? I'm on the side of everyone that for Jalen Duren needing to sign a contract that works for both teams, especially considering how he progressed or a lack thereof, at least in the playoffs. But when you give me a graphic like that, I think the difference in this is when you come to a guy with 120 that's making 25, like, there's no leverage there. If there's no leverage, there's no conversation, there's no social media, there's no the people around here kind of know what you are, they can lobby for you, back your side. That's a company, it's a corporation, whether it's Google, whether it's Prime, whether it's whatever. Say, hey, look, we got this 120 for you. Yeah, sign me up. Let me take that. I'm making that. Versus in this era now where athletes have a lot of leverage. Athletes have a ton of leverage, whether it's social, speaking out, scrubbing, doing those things. It's just a different day and age. So, yeah, I would just take the 120 if I was in that corporate world. But, unfortunately, Jalen Duren has some stake. He has some leverage. He has some conversation. And if there was no leverage, then we wouldn't be sitting here talking about this astronomical move that he's asking for allegedly or potentially. So, yeah, I'd take it in the corporate world, kind of different in this world because of the leverage, because of the socials.
I'm going to talk to Joey after
You can be a disgruntled – you can't be – you know what? You can't be a disgruntled employee working in the regular corporate world. You can't be a disgruntled employee.
He's not in the office, though.
But you can't – okay, in the office. Like, if this is – I keep
He's
saying
on sabbatical.
True, but if this is Google, like, you can't tell them, like, hey, look, man, I'm going to take this to social media and be like, look, man, Google offered me this is BS.
I'll be back in 2 months when you figure it out. It ain't happening.
That'd be your last day.
No doubt.
That'd be your last day.
No doubt.
But it's interesting looking at it from that standpoint. Like, hey, look, this is the upcharge, $25,000 to $120,000.
When you see it that way,
it's a huge jump.
It is because like no boss is giving you a raise from 25 to 120.
Especially if you told me like I graded out per year on my projects, I graded out like 70%. You want to bump me up 5x? Yeah, I'm taking it.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm taking it.
Yep.
But the leverage is the main thing.
It's a big teaspoon of reality.
What else is going on with your Kool-Aid?
Hey, you know what? I'm also trying to figure out when Jalen Duren is going to sign this contract, man. You know, it's a notion where when you don't have a number to it, it's also double compounded when the guy that you thought could be that, or at least play a big role, is honestly caught up in a contract dispute. Now, whether that number is for real or not, the one thing you really don't want a lot of is noise going into a season in which you want to actually capitalize. You know, your recipe is going to be a little bit different. Your vet voices who helped you the last 2 years, you've lost how many of them now? 4 or 5 critical vets to your process after losing Tim Hardaway and obviously Malik Beasley, Dennis Schroeder. Now you're talking about Tobias Harris and Isaiah Stewart. And so you don't want this noise going on. You want to know that everybody's on the same page and being able to put Trajan Lane in a position to where instead of saying, yeah, we got 10 or 11 guys here in the gym, free on their freer court, that they want to be here. But there are some players who weren't there because of contract disputes. And so that's where it's like you want everybody on the same page. You look at some of these other teams that have won championships and you look at Jalen Brunson, everyone's going to always bring this up. And I get it. He's had a couple shots at the bag.
Yeah.
So by this time, he only wants to win the championship. He's going to leave the money on the table. But realistically, you're sitting here right now. You know K's the number one. You know, if you're Jalen Duren, there is a reasonable place here. I'm okay with if this thing goes to the max that another team would pay. I wouldn't want that. I would love to get him at 35 to 38 million a year. But if it gets up to that 44 million, I believe, you know what? This is what happens sometimes in sports with players who achieve like he does, whether you think he's worth it or not. But I think that you potentially put the team in a worse spot. What did we hear in years past? K, Cunningham, and Duren working out together. They were connected at the hip. And then you saw their pick and roll over the last 2 years do what? Become the number one in the league. And so that to me is where I believe this is not the offseason where you wanted that noise, where a lot of your team is changing up, including players that were part of your original core.
All right.
Does this put a strain on their relationship? I mean, I know you don't want to really comment on that, but I'll be honest. If I'm Cade, I spent the last summer with him. I see what he does in playoffs. Like, I'm in the gym with him. Get out of the boardroom. Join me in the gym. Let's work on this. We can't do this in the playoffs again. We're not even playing on Christmas, dog. Does it hurt that? I mean, like, I mean, he's human.
Gotta get that Christmas game.
But seriously, I mean, would this put a damper on your relationship with the guy that's supposed to be the 1-2 punch, and now all of a sudden he's not joining you in the offseason where you thought you were going to go to the finals and you fell short because of his play?
Because of the place that he sees himself in and the credentials that he is now able to accrue, like I'm an all-star, I am an all-NBA player, and I helped this team achieve something they haven't in that many years. I believe that if you're Cade, you give him this credence of what you give other good players who go through contract disputes, might miss the summer, but you trust them to be in the gym. So from Duren's side, what am I hoping? I'm hoping that Jalen Duren is in the gym, absolutely working on those weaknesses, absolutely making sure that he's not just the biggest player on the court, but that he's playing like the biggest player on the court. And so for me, I'm believing that Cade, if there's in a situation like this, is hoping that you're getting the most mature version of Jalen Duren, so that if you're going to do this, if your agent's going to effectively grandstand for your contract, that at the very least you got to come back looking like a chiseled statue, ready to go, showing improved and remarked improvements over last year. You got to be a different specimen, a different effectively animal coming into this season if you're Jalen Duren.
You know, I'm okay with the $57 million now. 42 to Duren,
57,
15 to Akeem Olajuwon to move to Detroit for the next 5 years. Not to hoop, but to teach. Yes. Dream shake, let's do it all. Honestly, I don't want this news anymore. I want the news how he's in with Timmy D, and he's in with Akeem, and he's working on his turnaround. He's working on his post. Sheets in town. I mean, honestly, all the press around a guy that disappeared in the playoffs, but also played at an all-pro third-level tier throughout the regular season, this is not the narrative you want around him. You want to hear gym shoes squeaking around every interview he has because he's in the lab, working with older mentors, working with old Hall of Famers, working with guys on the team now, and back out hiking trails in Montana with Killer Cade. I'm serious. Double D.
But look, I see Dim Dice in the chat, and one of the OGs, he says Duren earned the right to max out his payout. Pay that man his due, and that's the thing. There's a discrepancy between maxing out your ability to get paid something for the future versus maxing out, your due. Pay that man his due. What is his due? He didn't necessarily perform to what you would want to pay a player like that in the playoffs. And so that's where obviously the negotiations are going to get the most granular, where people are like, I don't want to let go of that because of this. But the Pistons do get to sit back and say, well, what are you worth in the future? And if we are going to pay you this, you have to absolutely be a number 2 or at least a number 3 at the worst, because obviously he's a big man. And for me, I liked what I saw in the regular season. But to see your points per possession, your usage rate, your efficiency get obliterated in the playoffs, even though there were other things that people could say he did well. I'm not trying to completely crush him. I'm just saying at this tune of money, it changes the level of conversation we have as it relates to the production that you want to see out of Jalen Duren. I want to see how he looked in the regular season, like when Cade was out, and Freddie and I were talking about it. You got to get that in the playoffs. Yeah. We thought we were going into the playoffs and getting that Duren. And then when you get there and people started pushing him around a little bit and the physicality knocked him off his game, that's where you saw, you know what, we're going to need that. And if Duren can't give us that, that's from that's the notion. It's not just stats authorize your money.
That comment that you just read, that's the reason why it's a different situation from corporate America to professional sports. Because that comment right there, what did it say? He said, man, that man played. He balled out. He did his thing. It's time for him to get his bag. He deserves the right to max his contract out. That's why it's a difference. Because I definitely disagree with him. When we talk about max his contract out, are we talking about reach the max of what he's deserved or take him even higher? Because if we're talking about what he's owed based on slating and what he did in All-Star and being third-team All-NBA, sure, we can't negate that. We can't argue with that because that's how the league is structured. But when you start talking about paying $12 million more, $13 million more, even $5 million more, then we can have the conversation. All right, how much is enough? How much is too much? Especially when you're still trying to afford to bring in that number 2, if you will, to still make other moves so that you can be the team that can contend when it really matters, which is in April.
Dante 151 with a $5
Shout out to Dante
super
151
to make $57 million. You kind of, hit the goddamn three-pointer. But here's the thing. You don't shoot the 3. GTFO, Duren.
1,000%. They don't stand for Grand Theft Auto.
Chris got the munchies. Because he went to Loom. And by the way, you guys are both getting 5 spots on the wheel because all of these are doubled until the end of the show. Chris got the munchies because he went to Loom. Bray, you've been in contract negotiations. Can you give us a light of what you think is going on?
I feel like realistically, when you feel disrespected at the table, and maybe the Pistons came in with a super low number, not even on the level of what they thought they were getting. And we talk about 42, somewhere between 38 to 42. What if the Pistons win there and their high is where your low is? That's a ways away. Now it gets ugly. Now it gets feel disrespect. Now it gets quiet where you start to play the phone tag game. You feel disrespected. You don't want to answer my call, vice versa. It's posturing, and this is what happens in these situations. It's a lot of back and forth. It's a lot of pettiness. It's a lot of non-adult stuff trying to get to the table. So we don't even know if they're conversating right now. We don't know if there was a conversation that was had, deal weren't like. Now we're hearing reports. Who the hell comes out with a $57 million report? That ain't coming out of nowhere. It may not fully be true, but it's not coming out of nowhere. There is a standstill. When you start getting numbers and things like that, I don't think there's any movement from Trajan or Duren's side. Now you're getting guesstimations of what it's going to be.
Braylon, the super chats are flowing in now. Greg Thomas, $2. Brandon Kool-Aid, talk to Duren, please. I was gonna read that one anyway, but he brought it back with the super chat to make sure I did. Michigan Go Blue, the $5 super chat. You know what that means. Again, 5 spots on that wheel. Is this Pistons offseason one of the worst last couple decades for Detroit playoff teams? At least the Tigers added by getting McGonigal.
But also, too, like when you want to compare, just looking at situations, you talk about Jalen Brunson, him taking less money. You talk about Victor Wembanyama, him taking less money. I think you're looking at 3 different entities. 2 of those work for taking less. 1, Jalen Brunson did 4 years at Villanova, understand what it means to be part of a team, understand what it means to sacrifice, understand what it means to win a national championship twice over. He has that pedigree. He understood that. He understood taking less for more, being able to get guys in place. I feel comfortable with these guys. Now we have a real shot to win a championship. The other side is Wemby. Wemby's a foreign player. All they care about is coming over here and being the best version of what they're representing and then getting the hell out of here in the offseason and going back to where their countries are. They come over here and they ball out. They give everything to the court. And they also understand, if we win championships, it makes sense. I make France look better. I make insert country better here. That's why they take less. Wemby got there. He realized what he didn't have in that finals. Jalen Duren came here at 17 years old or barely 18 years old. He doesn't have the college 4 years. He doesn't have the sacrifice. He doesn't have coming from a foreign situation. He is an 18-year-old American when he came to the NBA, and all he has is that American arrogance, and this is no disrespect to him. This is just what it is. He has that American arrogance. Everything is about the money, the bag, what am I entitled to? How dare they not pay me this? That's the individual you see. It's 3 individuals. 2 of them understand sacrifice. 1 is like, pay me that money. And I'm not mad at him, but that's just a different level of thinking coming from where he's coming from. He was the youngest player in the NBA.
The I'm entitled disease and the blame game are the scourge of American society. Let's get a last super chat in here because I know we're up against it.
Yeah, go ahead.
I do like this one. Don XQX313 giving us the other side.
Okay.
Who says we would even make the playoffs without Duren? Or certainly wouldn't have been the number 1 seed.
All right, and that's fair, but does your role with the Detroit Pistons last year give you a $12 million bump in pay? Or let's just even say 5. Does it give you a 5 over what you're – because Kool-Aid, what's respected for Jalen Duren? 38 to 42?
Yeah, somewhere.
And you hope to land on 40?
As much as another team.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say as much as what another team would have paid him, and that's up to $44 million.
Right.
And I believe that they would have been okay with matching a contract like that for Jalen Duren. And for me, though, there is another component of it, and that's what will he be in the future? Because obviously for us,
get it lower.
We want to be able to lock him in if you're the Pistons to the best deal possible. But if we're Duren and you believe, well, I know I'm about to go out here after getting embarrassed in the playoffs and put in a certain type of work to reach there, well, then you're not going to sell yourself short. And so that's where it's like from his perspective, if his whole mindset is about going out there and being one of the top 3 unquestioned centers in the league, not just making an all-NBA team, I mean unquestioned. When these top center conversations come up, your name is there, then I understand his agent saying, well, I know what our guy is going to be. But it has to be the Pistons sure of Jalen Duren being that dude if you're going to go above that 40. I mean, even 44 is a lot of money. I feel like that is a good investment for where Jalen Duren is at in his career.
Most
really
I'm willing to spend on Jalen Duren realistically, and it's not my money. It's not like I'm spending it, so it doesn't even really matter. 48. Like, just kind of understanding the era we're living in, what people can get, what people can do, understanding what it could look like if you wait a little bit longer, maybe has a hell of I understand 48's the number for me, which is still $9 million from where that conversation in that article is. All right.
Real quick,
go ahead.
No, I just want to say really quickly, because I think that's what's so smart with the deal that they did give Cade and when they gave it to Cade, because you know every year the cap is going to go up, and then the percentage that a player can get of that cap. If Cade's your number one, everybody else has to understand where the slotting begins. And so for you, I completely agree. If you're going to go up above that 44, it cannot exceed Cade Cunningham. Like, what are we talking about?
Don XQX wanted 7 spots on the prize wheel, so he threw in this another $5 super chat.
I appreciate the engagement. He's back and forth today.
He is. Also feel he's trying so hard to max his deal because he knows he might not get his opportunity.
And that's what's line I
That's
was
a
scared
view
at.
too. Yeah.
We've been going hard on the Pistons, man. Shout out to the conversation.
They sticking with us.
LeBron James sparked it. We appreciate that. B-Lad, I throw this one up for you. Where do you want to take the conversation? Do we want to go from one disgruntled employee to another one with Tarek Scuba, and it may be in his last game tonight as he takes the mound against the Royals? Or you had some quick slant stuff that you mocked up for.
You already know his answer, bro.
No, hey, listen, I will.
Receivers always like the slant.
During this commercial break, I will throw a poll up in the chat, and I will let the chat decide what you want to talk about. It's either football, whether that's NFL or college, just football in general, or Detroit Tigers.
College, pro, or baseball.
Okay, we'll do college, pro, or baseball. You guys heard it. I'll throw that up in the chat right now.
In the meantime, please give me mad packs, if you will.
Yes, sir, I will. Just give me a quick second here. Here we go.
Mad packs. Spenny does a good job with that Mad Pack.
He does.
Mad Pack minutes. Shout out.
Hey, shout out to Spenny. Spenmo Racks, if you know what I'm saying. All right, what's up, guys? If you're a fan of Mad Packs, you already know they bring the heat. But this summer, they are shaking things up with some massive new drops. Get ready for the Boom Shakalaka 200 milligram hash rosin gummies and high-low 200 milligram live rosin. Alongside the brand new Mad Packs extracts, these are the perfect additions to your summer plans. Learn more at getmadpacks.com. Mad flavor, mad high, and Mad Packs.
The game is won in the trenches, and our big fellas don't mess around. The Woodward Heavyweights on Woodward Sports.
Experience summer in Detroit with pro soccer at Keyworth Stadium. Every Detroit City FC match brings a new reason to show up early and stay late. Tickets available now at deadcityfc.com.
Planet Fitness now has even more best-in-class strength equipment. Join today for $1 down and save.
We're stepping it up.
We're not slowing down.
Finding new faith, new focus.
Love that new equipment smell.
So, you in?
Join the club today. Save when you join for just $1 down, $15 a month. Planet Fitness. We're all strong on this planet.
You know how some things are so good they should be world famous, but they're not? Our house-made vinaigrette is one of those things. And the antipasto salad, we drizzle it over. Same with our hand-battered chicken tenders. Original recipe soups and pasta sauces. It's almost as if our original world-famous Detroit-style pizza is mocking them. And that's not very nice.
It's game on at Art & Jake's. Wings, burgers, pizza, and ice-cold drinks served up with attention to detail. Wall-to-wall TVs, great service, and a vibe that keeps your crew coming back. Art & Jake's, a sports bar setting with a fine dining flavor.
The Super Bowl parade in Detroit will be one for the record books. Detroit just does it different. Woodward Sports, your official Super Bowl or Bust Lions network.
You got your brew, now you need your smoke. And we're going to help you save 30% off of doing it. They've got 40 locations throughout the state. They are Loom, my favorite dispensary in town. WSN30 is your code word when you either scan that code or head over to Loom.com. And we will save you that 30% off. But Loom's going to give you a free, awesome gift your first time. Actually, your first 3 trips to visit them. It is clean. Their staff is incredibly knowledgeable and friendly. They're the best around. They are Loom.
And
we are back. Sorry about that coughing. I'm not necessarily a fast eater, but sometimes when you try to eat between, a minute, 15 seconds, you eat a little bit too much. All right.
And you guys love the NFL, don't you?
Is that what you got?
They love it.
Well, I mean, when you go from talking NFL yesterday for 2 hours to now not mentioning it in the first hour and 30, I can understand that. What do you got for us then, B-Lab?
Well, I heard we had some super chats rolling in if you want to get those out of the way real quick.
They did. Honestly, it was mostly guys just wanting to get in there. But Greg Thomas says 82 games, you need a strong horse to ride. Wary followed it up with JD, take the 35 and improve your game.
Oh.
And then Doughboy Steve says, I just want a spot. But you get 2, buddy, because they're doubled till the end of the show. And we will spin that wheel in the final few minutes.
That is a great time to do it. But in the meantime, we have this.
Okay, now you gotta tell everybody. You gotta set the scene. This is a dope picture. This is from when you were at Lawrence Tech.
Yes, it is. This is just this last season. I have also on the screen here for TD. I have all of us on the side as well.
Okay. Set the play up.
Oh yeah, set the play up. This was so I actually know. I remember this play. I was running a dig route on this play. So we were in a stack formation to the left side. I am the receiver to the bottom of the guy who was on the line of scrimmage. Yep. Well, so basically, I'm riding his tail. So we're kind of running off each other like this. He's taking a go. I cut off on a dig. He kind of sets like the pick in the middle there. I was open over the middle of the field, but our quarterback ended up getting pressured from his backside. So he rolled out of the pocket and decided to scramble for first down gain. But I had a key block on that play since I'm already all the way down the field. I picked up the safety and allowed him to get untouched and go out of bounds for like 10 yards.
Hey, shout out, man. See, blocking is important. What you do down the field is important. My coaches used to tell me, they see it, boy, just make sure your guy is occupied. Make sure he's occupied. I was like, what does that mean? He said, just make sure he's not in the play.
Yep.
So I would do all types of things.
Take him out of the play. That is exactly right.
Quick slant. What was your best quick slant in your career? Like, what was the play, the quick slant? Because quick slant, you can do so many things. It can be cover 1, cover 2, cover 3. You can beat any coverage with it, if you will. There's different holes, if you will. There's different depths. And if you get it in stride, in man-to-man, the rest is history.
Yeah, I mean, so if you want the real answer here, I barely ran slants, and there was a reason for that. So for a very long time when I was in college, actually at Lawrence Tech, I was playing slot receiver because of our running scheme. I was a bigger body receiver, so they would always want me to go up and pick up a linebacker in our zone run scheme. Yeah, I didn't really like it either. They even moved me to like a hybrid tight end at one point, and I hated getting down on the line and pulling, blocking, and having to chip an end all the time. Like that wasn't very fun. But I mean, it was fun to get hit, but at the same time, it's just a game of physics. At that point, you face a guy that's like 215 pounds, and you're only like $185, and so I mean,
I used to hate Z. I love Z search. I was a big blocking wide receiver. I love blocking. Don't get me wrong. Big 10, 3 yards and cloud of dust, the whole 9 yards. We used to have Z search. Zig, Z-Search, Zap, Z-Search, whatever, Zip, Z-Search.
Zip, Zap,
100%. You go in there, you find the safety, you find the strong safety, whatever. So I didn't mind doing it. I go in there, I dig out Troy Polamalu. He was like my favorite person to hit because he was a missile that didn't pay attention. So you can get a lot of shots in on him. Like, he wasn't necessarily tough to block.
He was too focused on getting to the ball.
Exactly. But, like, if he saw you, like, he's wiry. Like, he's getting up out of there. I love blocking him. Ed Reed was super smart. Like, you try to block Ed, he knows it's coming. Like, Ed was annoying.
Tell me more.
Best safety ever. Like, there were times where I thought, I was like, I'm about to clean Ed up. And legitimately, without even looking at it, he said, stop playing, Braylon. Damn, I thought I had you. But the one I went and met in the hole one time, and I cracked a lot of jokes about him. He used to come out of the tunnel crawling like Wolverine, call himself Weapon X, one of the best safeties in the modern era, Brian Dawkins. Oof. I trolled him a little bit before we played them in Philly on a Monday night game, and we had a Z-Search that Monday night game, and legitimately I saw him the whole time. I said, I'm going to meet him in the hole. I'm going to clean his little ass up. Man, I saw it was a return motion. Went outside the tight end, Came back in. I said, I see him. He saw me. It was like the parting of the Red Sea. The left guard went this way. The center went this way. They took their mans that way. He came straight up. I came straight up. Bah! I was ringing, dizzy, trying to figure out what was going on. And then he got knocked down by the linebacker. Yeah, it was rough. So shout out to Brian Dawkins. You earned it. But you got to make people earn it. You can't just say because I seen highlights and I heard you was like that. Yeah, you get a pass. Now you got to earn it. He knocked my ass out.
Speaking of earning it, we got Riley sitting in here.
Yes, sir.
B-Lad taking over for Justin.
It's the Young
and
Bucks.
Shelby is joining us today because tomorrow she will be TDing a Woodward Girls Club. Check those out on Saturday.
Shout out.
Okay.
Love it.
We got to get on the microphone before we get up out of here, man.
you know it.
Absolutely.
Some more deets, as they say. All right, quick slants. Give me the quick slant.
All right, Braylon. So there's been a buzz going around on some NFL dark horses to actually be Super Bowl contenders. Now, these aren't obvious Super Bowl contenders, but these are teams that could potentially surprise some people and even make that next leap to, you know, be in the Super Bowl or make a deep run, as you will. Here we go. I'm going to show you the graphic right now. It's right behind you, and I'll put it up on the screen. These, according to Joe A. NFL on Twitter, are the Super Bowl dark horses in the NFL, in his opinion. And as you can see, there's the Detroit Lions are up there as a dark horse. Obviously, they missed the playoffs last year. But you tell me, Braylon, which ones do you agree with that could potentially be dark horses, or which ones do you disagree with in that they just flat out won't be making the playoffs?
All right, when I look at this list right here, this is just to make the playoffs or to make a big
This
run?
is a Super Bowl. This is dark horses for a potential Super Bowl push.
4 of those teams never had one.
First of all, who the hell was smoking the fleur-de-lis? That's what I want to know. If you don't know what the fleur-de-lis is, that would be the New Orleans Saints. Who the hell was smoking the Loom? What did you just say? You said Loom has the boom shakalaka?
They got great flour.
That's Mad Packs.
Oh, Mad Packs. Yeah. Somebody was smoking a Mad Pack.
Took a whole 200 million.
We don't even know if Tyler Shuck can be the starting quarterback for the Saints for the next 3 seasons. But he's gonna make the Super Bowl this year. Cap. Absolute cap right here. Minnesota Vikings, as much as I like them, I think they are a dark horse, maybe the challenge in the division, if you will, to maybe have a good season. I know they won 9 games last year, so you had Kyler Murray. You feel like you can win another. That's fine. I don't know about Super Bowl. Texans, as much as I did not like them in the playoffs last year, as much as C.J. Stroud has annoyed me the past 2 seasons after we crowned him year 1 for the season that he had, and rightfully so, last 2 seasons have left me kind of – that defense is a M-effing problem from top to bottom. They are elite like no other. They are the defense in the league. Them and maybe the Vikings can contend. I 100%. Like them. I think C.J. Stroud will be better. They got Tank Dell back. I've been watching film of him and his routes and his running. Tank Dell and Nico Collins, I do like them. The backfield is going to be where I'm a little iffy. Is it Woody? Is it David? What does that look like with Monty? But I don't mind them on this list.
About the Dark Lions.
I don't mind the Ravens. I think the Ravens will be healthy. I think they have Jesse Minter. I like what Jesse Minter means to that defense. Because as good as their defensive players are individually, they haven't been good on defense as a whole in a while. And I think that's what Jesse Minter is coming back to get his squad together. And then Lamar's pissed off. I mean, you got him ranked number 69. You know, and that's not just a position. That is where he's at right now. So I think Baltimore's legit.
Hammond?
Texans legit.
Can Hammond win?
No, not this year.
The Hammond catfish?
Not this year. I don't think the Bears this year. I think the Lions. I think the Lions are in there. This is where I'm at for the Lions. And it depends on defense. Like, defense is where it has to happen. Is it the secondary? Who are the secondary members? What is it going to look like in their safety? What are the linebackers going to be this year? What is that defensive line going to be this year? Yes, there are questions. You talk about the schedule. This is where I will add to that schedule conversation. Get the number 1 seed. It means so much. And I'm not talking about 2 years ago. This is a different year. Seattle went to the Super Bowl because they had the number 1 seed. Seattle went to the Super Bowl because they had that number 1 seed, and people had to go to whatever the hell they call it. Used to call it 12 chess when I was there. You had to go there. That's a hard place to play with that energy, that rocket. Get home field advantage. And when you start off with the first 8 games like we do, outside that Buffalo game, there's no reason why the Lions couldn't be 6-2, 7-1 even to start the season. I think home field advantage would be the big thing for the Lions. So I like the Lions. I like the Texans, the Ravens. Only team I would add the Chargers.
So the Chargers were in that category, but they were like already guaranteed contenders. Like
makes sense.
These are like the dark horses. Yeah.
Just to fizzle out like they always do.
Yeah.
No, hey, bolt up this year, baby.
Absolutely
I
not.
have faith in the Chargers.
Absolutely.
Ravens,
and
Lions,
Jim
and
Harbaugh.
Texans. I think Jags will be what the Jags are. They'll make it second round of playoffs, maybe first round tap out, but
their division is wide open though at the end of the day.
My biggest concern with the Ravens is having a first-year head coach. Not many of those guys win a championship.
No.
Ben Johnson in his second year, I don't believe in them, but who knows? I love the coaches. I love Liam Cohen. I think he did a great job.
Last year was fantastic.
Was last year McDonald's first year?
Yes. No. Mike McDonald from Seattle.
Oh, no. I think it was second year. Yeah.
So you just don't see that first year, but that second year. Listen, Texas got a great coach. Minnesota's got a great coach.
Yeah.
I love our coach here.
Yeah.
I also think that Ben Johnson, we'll still see what he does in his second year if he can continue what he did last year. You've got some really great coaches on these teams, Liam Cohen included.
All of
that
them are
I believe
offensive.
in all of them.
Yeah.
So
I like Liam Cohen, and this is no knock to Trevor Lawrence, just the truth. Even with Liam Cohen, who brought a better offensive system, brought more consistency, it seemed like the players were rocking with him more. Trevor Lawrence just had, even with wins, I mean, they won, 9 games in a row?
12.
I would agree with
12,
that.
12 games, but Trevor,
split his season in half,
or 13.
and he's an MVP candidate in the second half.
You look at the last 12.
And I'm not a T-Law guy. Most fraudulent nickname, cool nickname of all time. But my man played his ass off in the second half, and it takes a while for the coach and the quarterback to gel. And you could see, this could be your best quarterback you take in the 12th round of your fantasy leagues possible, T-Law.
I will say this.
Facts. That's facts.
I will say this. The thing that I noticed about Trevor Lawrence, especially in the second half of the year, is something that I want Michigan and Bryce Underwood to lean on. How many times do you see Trevor Lawrence running for first downs?
Take the handcuffs off,
the
man.
pocket. That's what you did when you were at Clemson. That's one of the biggest things about you, your ability to run. I think you saw a lot more of that of Trevor Lawrence last year.
First half of the season, he was a 79.7 rating. Second half, 103.3.
Dang.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I actually didn't even realize
won me a championship.
Okay.
They went on a 9-game winning streak.
Yeah,
they
were
I
fantastic.
think they finished 13-4.
Yeah.
I
I've
believe
never
that's
been a
what their
believer.
total was last year.
He made me pause on that. Still out on that. I don't know.
Where are the Cowboys on this list?
Cowgirls should be up there.
They were in the guaranteed contenders list.
See,
That's cap.
What makes it cap? Out of curiosity.
I have no faith in Dak Prescott as long as Jerry Jones is acting as the active GM.
Yeah.
So I believe
you can't trust him either. I like Marty Schottenheimer as a coach more so as an OC over a head coach. Oh, Brian, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yes, not his dad.
And he was my offensive coordinator, so I get that and I understand that, but we're talking about contending. Like when you look at when you look at the Dallas Cowboys, you look what that defense is going to be this year. That defense is going to be better. And you look at Rashawn Gary next to Quinnen Williams, next to healthy. I like what that's going to be. I like Caleb Downs. I like.
It's more so about their division. I think that the Giants are going to have a very
Dak
good
didn't
year.
show anything last year. Like I'm also one of those guys that you can ask the chat. Like I've come up here and talk. You know what about Dak for the last 4 or 5 years? Last year he took us up forward.
Sure.
Last year he looked legit the whole season, regardless of who was getting injured, regardless of who was playing.
But how do you miss the last 2 years of playoffs and get taken beyond dark horse to immediate contender? I like them.
Yeah.
You and I both do. I think they could absolutely win their division, but I'm not putting them in the for sure they might be in the Super Bowl conversation.
Yeah, that's why I said dark horse.
Yeah,
but
I agree.
I would agree with you on dark horse.
They are a problem. And they are going to be an absolute problem. The same conversation we had earlier, the same conversation we talked about everybody else. If there were no injuries, and you're looking at a whole different team in Dallas last year. So I'm trying to see what this is. George Pickens, CeeDee Lamb. You got 2 tight ends and Schoonmaker as well as Ferguson, Javonte Williams. I mean, you got new offensive line. Now they got it's going to be interesting.
All right, Bray, really quick, too. This just dropped, and I was able to put it into the Slack for us here. Oh. Take a look at the Los Angeles Rams' new alternate uniforms here. It's on the screen in front of you here. We got the white and blue. I know it's probably going to be a little bit harder to see. And then we have the yellow with the white pants, which I just think is questionable. But I like the white, though. The white is tough.
Helmets are cool.
Rams have a dope uniform. I like the color. I like that. Like the Ram, although they spin it, it's a newer. It's a little bit. The silhouette's a little slimmer than it used to be.
Yeah.
That yellow one is
Yellow and blue just looks terrible together.
I wish
gotta
they
see
kept
the
the
stripe. I
navy
gotta
and
see the
gold.
stripe more because it kind of is giving me
Yeah.
Chargers vibes.
They look
And I'm
exactly like the Chargers.
Why would you get a Chargers uniform and you get share a stadium with them now?
That's what I'm saying. And their color scheme and the way that their logos are designed now are very, very, very similar. And I miss the Rams' old logo.
You know why?
Because they're playing the Super Bowl?
No, because they can wash all the jerseys together at the same time.
Oh. Yeah, do you think that's true?
No.
No.
It's a dad joke for a Friday.
Yeah, no, but that's what I'm saying though is like the exact same color scheme, very similar logos. I miss the blue and the navy blue and the gold, and that old Rams logo was flawless. In my
The old white Ram is cool. The white helmet Ram is cool.
I like it. I would have did yellow pants.
Yes.
I would have did yellow pant with a white jersey.
Really?
Yep.
The reason why is because the helmet and the jersey would kind of,
They're too
the
close.
helmet and the pants, like they would be in the middle of the
Yeah.
center. Yeah.
Yeah, 100% there.
Devontae.
Thought I'd throw that up there. And while we're still here on the topic
Devontae's knees starting to look a little bit like Candace Parker and Kenny Smith. Like, nah, Devontae.
He was talking about.
You know you my guy. Like, don't let your knees start touching. That's the sign to hang him up. He had 14 tubs, but they were all like
too many curls outside.
2 yard fades.
It's like Kenny Smith trying to beat Shaq up to the board.
Stop it, bro. Stop it, bro.
Like, I'm talking stuff. Like, chill out. I like the number though. You know what I'm saying? I could say.
And while we're still on the topic of football, I might as well get this out of the way real quick, Braylon. We need your take on this. Which conference is better? The SEC or the Big Ten?
Wait a minute. You just going like, is there a commercial break or
Let's wait till 3:50.
We'll tease it.
Let's go for another 5
I got
minutes.
hold on, wait a minute.
3:50. Okay.
I got notes around here, so I got stuff prepared. You can't just be hitting me like that. I'm nervous. Yeah. Do you guys want to get a commercial break?
We can. We come back and do
and
this.
then
for a while.
finish it. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
When we come back.
Perfect.
Who is the better conference? Is it the Big Ten or is the SEC? We know Nick Saban and Kirby Smart and what they were, and Alabama and rah-rah and the Heisman. This last 3 national championships come from the same conference, and that is the Big Ten. When we get back, we'll talk more about that. Let's get a message in from Thrive. Sweet Potato Cam left, but
hey, I know I'm not Cam. Do your best. I know I'm not Cam, but this ain't your daddy's dip either. Most people think energy comes in a 16-ounce can full of sugar and non-colored liquid, but you know better. It's time to upgrade your game to Thrive Energy Pouches. This isn't your daddy's dip. It's a tobacco-free, nicotine-free mental powerhouse, packing 300 milligrams of clean, smart caffeine, including alpha GPC and L-theanine. No jitters, no sugar crash, and no bloating. Thrive can be found online at dipstop.com. Remember to use promo code WSN for 15% off your entire order, and exclusively at all Market Fresh and Market Square locations. Thrive. Clean energy, zero distractions, they just effing work, man.
Hunting season is almost here, Detroit, and your Lions are on the prowl. Make sure you're locked into Woodward Sports for all the Dan Campbell reactions, Jared Goff touchdowns, Amon-Ra first downs, Penny pancakes, Kirby picks, Gibbs big plays, and of course, Jack Fox's leg. Stay locked in on all your Lions coverage right here on Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
This is a hungry bear. This is Carl and Jeff. Carl isn't worried because he has focused energy to spare thanks to Thrive energy pouches. Jeff didn't use Thrive when Carl offered. The bear is happy about that.
Don't just survive, thrive. You know how some things are so good they should be world famous, but they're not? Our house-made vinaigrette is one of those things. And the antipasto salad, we drizzle it over. Same with our hand-battered chicken tenders. Original recipe soups and pasta sauces. It's almost as if our original world-famous Detroit-style pizza is mocking them. And that's not very nice.
Jahmyr Gibbs, breakout season, loading.
Inside the 5, Gibbs to the end zone, touchdown!
Woodward Sports, the most dominant Detroit sports coverage around.
I'm always ready for Art and Jake's home of the wall-to-wall TVs, 80 to be exact, and they get the vibe going, man. No matter what game is on. Can you imagine if you were at Art and Jason last night watching Dylan Dingler get that double in the 8th inning to take a 4-3 lead in which the Detroit Tigers wouldn't surrender? That would have been dope. That would have been a vibe. Well, next time you should be there. Wall-to-wall TVs, the action, 22 beers on tap. Check the menu out. A&J, they just get it done, man. Check them out. Apps above me or to my right, to my left. It's on the screen. And sometimes you look
Tell
at
them about Tell them about your boy Nabi.
The B-side over there, States Title 8. I got to get with Nabi. He hit me up about golf. Man. Not too long ago, I got to hit you up. Sorry about that, Nabi. Schedule's been scheduling, if you will. But if you're looking to buy or refinance a home, then you should look no further. Nabi and his crew, they are the team for you. Over 20 years of experience and 20 years of expertise for him. He comes from a family that understands how to do this. They make the process simple, convenient, and easy. Late night closings, weekend closings, by appointment, of course. This is the place for you, man. I love the expertise. I love the group. And I love that they do things your way. All right. And we are back. You see the shakeup. Is it East? Is it West? Is it North? Is it South? Is it SEC? Or is it the Big Ten? Ask the question again, B-Lab.
Yes, I just wanted to get your guys' opinion since this is a hot debate recently, among not even just amongst me and my peers and my friends back home, but amongst the social media and sports media world, especially with Nick Saban coming out and saying all this stuff about the SEC and how they're more dominant, and then you got other people saying the ACC is the best conference in college football, and then Big Ten is kind of more quiet, but at the same time, Big Ten has won the last 3 national titles. So the question is directed to the chat and to you and Anson and Riley. What's your opinion on this? Who do you think is the better conference here when it comes to the Big Ten or SEC, or maybe if you think it's ACC, you let us know.
First of all, anybody think it's the ACC, you need to get drug tested. Now, with that being said, and I know they got Miami.
They got hoops.
Okay, and like I said, go get drug tested. As it relates to Nick Saban, he always gets on my nerve because now that everyone can cheat, it seems like the Big Ten is winning 23 and winning 24 and winning 25. Yep. And what I mean by that is pay players, allocate money, do it legally. Because everybody knows LSU in 2003, illegal. 09, Alabama, illegal. Paying players, doing all those type of things. So I find it very funny that they get up on these desks and still lobby. With that being said, I think as at the top, in terms of who are the best teams, I think it is the Big Ten. I think you look at the 2 best teams in the country for me, and they're both Big Ten schools. I think it's Ohio State, and I think it's Oregon. I think it's 1, 2. I think SEC maybe 2, 3, 4 with Georgia as well as.
No Indiana?
Well, Indiana I think is 5.
Okay.
It's 5 or 6.
3 of the top 5 though.
100%. So I think at the top, like it's always been, Big Ten's always been top heavy. It's always been top heavy. 100%. It's always, for a while, it's Penn State, Ohio State, Michigan, Wisconsin for a while. Every once in a while, Iowa will cycle off in there. Now you add the Pac-12 schools. Now you have Oregon. You have USC a couple years ago, etc. But in the minutia, you start to lose the teams. You start mentioning the Rutgers. You start mentioning the Northwesterns. You start mentioning, unfortunately, Michigan State. You start mentioning, I had to. You start mentioning a lot of teams in the Big Ten. They fall off and they can't compare. And that's where SEC as a whole, I mean, even this year, you look at the top 10, Big Ten may have 3 in the top 6. SEC's got 6 in the top 10.
I'll always be a Big Ten guy. But this graphic alone tells you why the Big Ten is stupid. No. Who the hell are those guys and why are they over here?
Money.
This is, I get it, but this is a Midwest, corn-fed conference, all right?
Those 4 was because we couldn't get Texas and Oklahoma.
I get all that, but that's the thing is, to me, like, there's too many teams in the Big Ten. Yeah. There's teams that shouldn't be in the Big Ten. From the East Coast and the West Coast, it's lost its identity in the cash grab. Now, are they winning? Sure. Do they have my heart? Sure. But just the fact that you have to show all 50 states in order to group them, it's kind of silly.
I also think, I look at it like this too. I mean, because you can have this conversation. Somebody told me SEC, that's fine. I still think when you look at the last 3 years and when you look at who's the tops this year, it's still the Big Ten at the top. But if you want to tell me about how good everybody else is, that's fine.
Well, they only represent 2 less states than we do.
But here's the thing: all those the Big Ten championships too, they've been blowouts. They've been beat downs.
Yes, it's been very lopsided.
They've been beat downs. Michigan beat up on Washington, who beat Michigan beat Alabama to get there. That was a representation. You look at last year, Indiana beat up on everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, they beat up on everybody, and then the year before that, it was Ohio State who beat up on the SEC. So they haven't even just been comparable games; they've been blowouts. But
it has been the Big Ten, I definitely will say, is the more lopsided one. The SEC is by far the most
top to
complete.
bottom,
better. But yeah, definitely the most complete conference. Like you put up Arkansas up against a Minnesota. I guess they're like very similar tiers. I guess you can rank them in each conferences, and Arkansas is going to boat race them. Like that's just how it is. The low end teams can't compete with the low end teams of SEC, in my opinion. And too, like. It's so untraditional, this new Big Ten, and obviously I know why it is, obviously with the money and the TV deals, all this coast-to-coast networking. Maryland isn't a Big Ten team. Rutgers isn't a Big Ten team. Obviously, I discussed this before the show. I miss the old Pac-12. I miss watching USC and UCLA play at 9 p.m. and 10 p.m. I miss Washington and Oregon playing at twilight. Stanford and Cal. Now Stanford and Cal are in the Atlantic Coastal Conference, which makes no sense. But it's all money. Exactly. Everything just it's all based off of money and greed. At the end of the day, that's just a new era of college football. But that leads me to this, too, is I was listening to a podcast the other day. Someone mentioned that they actually could see in the future, maybe 5 to 10 years down the line, and mind you, this is where I think college sports is completely ruined if this happens, that the Big Ten and the SEC combine into a super league, and they would have their own conference. They would filter out, obviously, some of the bad, like one of the more like bad teams in each conference. But at the end of the day, the Big Ten and the SEC would combine into like a super team. So do you think that would be like the end of college football, or do you think that would be like a kind of like a farm system in a way kind of deal that they would be using like the MLB does?
It's already the end of college football as we know it. Now it's just different adaptations and different landscapes. And I think the new landscape, I think that one is down the line, is coming. I don't think they'll merge, though. I don't think it'll be the Big Ten merging with ESPN. The Big Ten merging with the SEC. It's because it's about networks, and those networks are Fox. Fox has the Big Ten. ESPN, they have the SEC. It's also why Ryan Clark was fired for making those comments. When you look at it that way, I think you can get to a point where you see the champion of the Big Ten versus the champion of the SEC become the champion in those two leagues. I can see them getting a core like that.
Yeah.
Hell, the SEC is trying to move away from the NCAA as we currently speak.
I got an idea.
What's that?
2 leagues in each conference with relegation and promotion.
Like the EPL?
And the fact is like Michigan State's probably in the lower league.
Commissioner Anson.
And it makes it very, very easy for the selection committee to know who they're choosing from. Yeah. You've got the upper SEC and the lower SEC. You've got the upper Big Ten and the lower Big Ten. You want to be up top. You don't want to get relegated because your schedule is going to look like Maryland, Rutgers, UCLA. So not only is it terrible for you from a games just viewing it, but also you're not bringing the money in from those marquee matchups. So now those teams that are middling and at the bottom, they're not going to bullshit and spend their money here and there. They're going to build the best product because too many of these teams that have been allowed into the Big Ten are giving you crap. So that, to me, is the incentive for all of these programs to push and make sure they're not in the lower conference.
The difference between two conferences right now, realistically, is like it's geolocation versus money. The money is in the Big Ten. When you look at those, the Big Ten conference, that's where the bread is. That's where the white whales are. That's where the $1 billion. That's when you see multiple billionaires throughout, even Northwestern, Michigan State, Ohio State, Penn State, Indiana with Mark Cuban. There's cheese up there. They don't have that down there in in Florida and Georgia and Alabama, Mississippi. What they do have, they got the recruits.
Yep.
They got the players.
Yep.
They got the kids that do the things that you want, that have the measurables, that don't want to go past the Mason-Dixon line. They want to stay down there where it's hot. That's where they benefit. I'll tell you this. When that state right there, the southernmost tip of the United States, when Texas figures it out, because that's the only domino that has to fall. When Texas and Texas Tech figure it out, they're putting the money up, and Texas A&M. They got the money. They have the bread. Right? They have more bread than up north. They have the money. They just haven't figured out the coach, the system, and how to keep players there. Once they figure it out, that will be the issue. That will be where the power lies. It's Texas, A&M, and and Tech.
B-Lad, tell them about Amnesia Gold Crown.
That's exactly
massage
what
chair,
I was
please.
just about to do, Anson. Thank you so much for reminding me here. Let me tell you a little bit about Gold Crown first. Stop everything you're doing for a second because Gold Crown just went completely overboard in the best way possible. They dropped new Royal Jesters, and these are not your average pre-rolls. We're talking 1.5 grams each, and they are quad-infused, keef-coated, live resin-infused, THCA diamonds, and terpenes. I don't know what that is. Terpenes. All right. Thank you, Anson. All packed into one. That's 4 layers of, yeah, you're good after this. These aren't your hit it twice and pass it around pre-rolls. These are why am I analyzing the game like a coach right now pre-rolls. Michigan-made, top-tier, no shortcuts. Man, this is awesome. Next time you hit the dispo, don't think, just ask for Royal Jesters because if you're going to smoke like royalty. And while you are enjoying some of those Royal Jesters, you can also massage your back at the Massage Chair House. And if you're looking to take your relaxation to the next level, you got to check out the Massage Chair House in Bloomfield Hills. They carry top brands like Infinity and Osaki, making it the go-to destination for premium comfort and cutting-edge wellness technology. Be sure to visit Dr. Eric Duncan, the Wellness Doc, and creator of the #1 YouTube channel for massage chair reviews at the Wellness Doc. Book your visit today at massagechairhouse.com or simply scan the QR code on your screen. Massage Chair House, your ultimate ticket to relaxation. And one last one here, almost done. If I can find the read here. There it is. I don't have the little pen like Justin always does, so I can't give you the display. I don't have it.
Amnesia.
But yes, exactly. Amnesia is proud to be available at the top dispensaries across Michigan with multiple products for adults. Their newest launch is the Switch 2 milligram dual chamber disposable featuring a liquid diamonds with 2 chambers and 2 different flavor profiles. You can enjoy the left or the right or both together for a unique combination. Discover your new favorite with the Switch by Amnesia. Wow, that was fast, wasn't it?
Now I wonder what Justin smokes before he does that read. All right, here we go. Tonight, Terry Scuba takes him out against the Kansas City Royals. Before we go,
last time?
There he is. Is Terry Scuba last time on the mound as a Detroit Target? Anson would go around the room. Would say you?
No.
All right. What about you, Riley?
The fan in me wants to say no, but the realistic person in me says that this is either his last or second to last start. Yes.
B-Lad.
I don't think he's going to be traded, but I want him to be.
Oh, fair. Okay. The answer for me is yes.
You think it's going to be his last one?
I think this will be the last ride.
Okay.
I think this will be the last ride. I should have listened to when somebody told me that LeBron was going to Philly 2 weeks ago, and I didn't. So now I'm going to take that same information, and I'm going to make this decision.
Rando Smalls has been putting this in the chat all week. He paid $2 for it now. This is the final 2 spots on the wheel. We're about to spin it, guys. Appreciate your support all week, but he has a question for you, Bray. Do defensive lines still stunt? Why don't they do it more?
Do defensive lines still what?
Do stunts, run stunts.
We did in college all the time.
We did in college. I think now offensive linemen got a little bit too good and for the stunts, and they take a lot longer to get to. I think back in the day, you had time to let a stunt develop. Nowadays, quarterbacks, 1, are faster, 2, can move out of pocket, and 3, they process a little bit faster. So I think maybe that's why you don't see as many stunts.
All right, you want to zoom in on this prize wheel here? Great answer from Braylon. I'm going to shuffle this bad boy 4 times like you know I do. 1, 2, 3, and 4.
That's in 4K right there.
Appreciate you guys once again.
That's
and
in
next
4K.
week we got that Jahmyr Gibbs auto football, so bring it next week, guys. Let's see that name. What do we got here?
Freddie.
Dude. This man doesn't stop winning.
He cleans up.
This guy does clean up, doesn't
My man,
he?
Freddie, dude. He go buy some lottery tickets, my friend.
Yeah, for real.
We didn't cheat for you. Hey, look, man, we want you guys to have a good weekend. Thank you for spending your time at Woodward Sports, especially on the Braylon Edwards Show. We will see you next week. Enjoy the weekend. Trying to think if anything's coming up, anything to think about. Whatever. Get
Morgan
outside.
Wallen comes
Enjoy
in
the weather.
Yes,
That's
sir.
what I will say.
All right, y'all.
See you.
The game is won in the trenches, and our big fellas don't.